shit, I forgot to pop the chat out. What up, guys? Wait. Whoops. Just like instantly starts playing that. How are you guys? Sorry about that. I love that song though. Susan, you're sick. I'm sorry to hear that. It's time to get unsick. What up, Vanessa? What's up, gang? Vix is in the house. You like the funky music? Yeah, it's called Pink Panthers. It's very... It showed up related to this stuff, this like liquid drum and bass music. It's fucking sweet. Won't. Hey, David De La Rosa with the first dono of the night says, "Hi Joel, how are you doing?" I'm doing great. Doing fantastically well. Think I've made progress on my recording zone area. Hope you're wearing my favorite outfit, Joel. You know, the one that makes your butt look big. Oh man, that's every outfit. My yoga pants. I got my yoga pants ready to rock. Oh, but how's everybody doing? I gotta drink my drinky drink, my tea. Better than a few days ago. The car is finally fixed. 2 sensors broke. Oh my god, yeah. All the electronic stuff in cars is just so frustrating. Let me know if you got the email pertaining to your drawing I sent twice. I don't think it's gone through. Yeah, I don't remember it going through, but sometimes stuff gets like sent to spam, frustratingly enough. Even my stuff, sometimes when I email people, it gets sent to spam. It's kind of frustrating. Thorn83 with the 5. Thank you, Thorn. Thank you. Just in time to listen and cook dinner. Heck yeah, what are you making for dinner? Your older sister had a B-day today. Wait, had a baby today. 10 pounds. 10 pounds. That's a pretty big baby, right? Well, congratulations, Stephanie. Well, Jacob, your wife is sick with a cold. I'm sorry to hear that. Hopefully she can feel better. My God. Shoot, I need to try my email on my laptop. I think the file's too big for your phone. Oh, okay. Michelle Bell with the 5 says, "Hi Joel, you're by far the best narrator on YouTube. Love you from Colorado." Thank you. Thank you, Michelle. Always good to see you. How's everybody doing this fine evening? I feel like this day went by really, really quickly.
Hey, listen.
You're eating a blueberry cake donut. Hell yeah, that's what I like to hear. That sounds too delicious. Yeah, I just feel like this day just like blew by so fast. I like spent a moderate portion of it just like continuing to put stuff into like the recording space where I'm gonna try to be an anime boy, an animu as they call it, and I just basically was putting like a bunch of moving blankets and stuff onto the ceiling and on the wall and on the door and stuff like that. So like when you enter, so you're just like in a tent, but that like sort of reverberation zone that's like above me, since I'm like below the steps, I don't think I can get access to that, because I was thinking if I could get access to that, I could just like fill it with like foam pads, you know what I mean? And then I might not have to deal with any of the reverberation that like comes through. But I do notice though, when I sit down to record or like kneel, when I get on my knees to record, it actually sounds way better. And the cool thing is like the H5N that I have it connected to is like the interface that my mic records into. it actually has like a built-in compressor. So there would be times where I try to like yell and I felt as if though like it was like peaking the mic. But I think the compressor just like it had like a preset, like a vocal preset, and I think it really helps. So Amanda, what's happened? I did miss you. I missed everybody. I miss you guys. You guys are my only friends ever on earth. It only took 12 minutes of pushing. Oh, okay. Nice. Yeah, how long? I guess, yeah, some labors can go on like hours and stuff. What's the music playing now in the background called? It's called Liquid Drum and Bass Mix number 127. And it's on Sound Territory. And I really like this kind of stuff. The current song's called Mage, Clear Sky. I really like Liquid Drum and Bass just because it reminds me very heavily of like, remember that one like racing game? It was called like something 2049, and you were like racing cars in the future and shit. And I don't know, there's something about that where it's like you're going really fast, but at the same time like the chill melodies in the background is such an interesting contrast. Can't stay long, but dropped a like for you. Thank you, Anna. Yeah, if everybody could drop a like, it would be super helpful. Share this out to the beautiful world. Just watched Will Smith getting slapped. I laughed at, oh, well, it wasn't Will Smith getting slapped. It was Christopher Tucker. Which, like, I don't even know. I don't even really care that much anymore. But, like, looking back on that situation, I think we reacted to it, like, as it happened. Because I started my last stream right when it happened. Or around the same time or the same night. And then looking at it now, it's like just still such a weird thing, you know what I mean? And someone made a good point that like, for him to go up and slap Chris Tucker, or sorry, I keep saying Chris Tucker, Chris Rock. I always mix their names up, I apologize. But like, for him to like go up and like slap him, and then go on to like give a speech about like love and what God has for him and stuff like that. I don't know. And then for all of Hollywood to like clap or whatever, as if though it's like chill. I don't know. Just really fucking weird to me. Nobody cared about the ceremony until it happened. That's a great point, is that it could have all just been like a staged nonsensical thing. But at the same time, it was just like so surreal. Like, and then I found out that like Will Smith's wife, you know, after everybody was defending her, like cheated on him like 2 years ago or something like that. Yeah, I mean, I'm over it now too. I mean, but at the same time, it was just like all the concepts mixed together, like him laughing at the joke, the fact that the joke really wasn't that bad. It was just like a minor quip, you know what I mean, at the hairstyle. And I understand that she struggles with alopecia or whatever, but like I don't really think that would ever constitute like, you know, assault, you know what I mean. Scientology will destroy you. Is he in Scientology? Did he join? Man, Scientology's really taken over. He probably defended her out of fear. Who knows? Yeah, maybe he like laughed, looked over, and he was like, oh shit, she's about to like divorce me right now and take me for everything I have. Maybe she said that. She's like specifically said, if Chris Rock makes a joke tonight and you don't get on stage to slap me, I'm taking half your shit. Steve with the 5. Thank you, Steve. It was an entanglement. Oh yes, of course. His wiener entangled inside of her. It was like quantum physics is what it was. It was truly just scientific at the end. If it's Scientology, then that makes sense. Scientologists don't call it sex, they call it entanglement. They have an open marriage. He lets other guys sleep with his wife, but don't make a joke. Yeah, you know, I don't know, man. Like that kind of shit. I don't think I could ever be in a relationship that was like that, because like I understand why people go and like do open relationships. Like I get it. You get bored. You know, you already have those temptations. So you're like, well, let's just be open with each other and blah, blah, blah. But then I also think to myself, like, do you not feel some degree of jealousy, you know, just innately, like your innate biology just like leading to some degree of jealousy. And who knows, maybe like it all culminated in some really strange like outlet of frustration. And maybe his recent character, because he referenced his character, maybe it was some sort of like strange method acting nonsense where like, I don't know, he's falling into some strange mental illness because he's connected so much with that character in a weird disassociative sort of sense. Or you know, you always like want to talk about these things, but I guess at the end of the day, yes, nobody gave a shit about the Oscars or knew it was happening until Will Smith, the fish from that one movie, bitch slapped the donkey from that other movie. You don't understand the point of those relationships. Yeah, I don't know either. I mean, some people were into it. I don't care. But 'tis what it is. Demi Moore was a sizzle fest smoke show in G.I. Jane. To be the sequel in your 50s and 60s is a compliment. Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, she does look beautiful in her. I mean, they all look good, you know. Chris Rock looks good. Fucking Will Smith looks amazing. Jada looks good. I mean, what the fuck are you, like, those guys should just be happy that they're not like a bag of bones like some people end up. Oh shit. But anyways, that's relationship goals. I'm gonna try to win an Oscar and then I'm gonna slap somebody. Slap the shit out of them. Or I'll leave like an oil slick on the stage from my excretions, and they'll slip on it as they walk out to tell their next hilarious joke. Steve with the 150, thank you. And a banana peel. I gotta, yeah, oh my god, I'd slip on that. Whip. You dance to the cha-cha-cha. Hell yeah. Open relationships are all sexual, no emotional connection. Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's like, but how do you guarantee someone's not gonna like feel something, you know what I mean, in that open situation, like that they might not be getting from you? I don't know. I think it would just like create a large degree of complication. How's the orchid? It's good, yeah. I need to dive into the specifics that you gave me on that orchid sort of breakdown, because I really wanna be able to take care of it well. With enough communication, open relationships can work long term. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's nothing against them. And you could also just like, I don't know. I have no fucking clue. I can definitely, I mean, I'm not married, so like I can definitely see people getting married and then just sort of like getting bored after 5-10 years, you know what I mean? And then somebody brings up, they're like, hey, I don't know. I could also see, you know what sucks too, is that my one friend, he, you know, I met his friend, but like they're kind of in like an open relationship, and his theory is that like he sort of goes along with it because he's terrified that his wife, if she doesn't get what she wants, is just gonna like take his kids and bounce or something like that, you know what I mean? And then I guess in that situation, if you're like legally tied through that process, I feel like you might as well just like entertain the idea of it to your spouse, but that would fucking suck. Nobody cares about them incumbent actors at this point. If they don't have some issues or drama, they fade real quick. Big oof. True. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, sometimes you just wonder how much of like all of it is just, I mean, I guess it is Hollywood. Most of it's just fabricated nonsense anyways. What's up, Meredith? Says, I always have a guy who calls in my job with the chief complaint of priapism and tells us all about how they used to be a stripper. Last night he was addicted to sex again. Wish me a creepless night. Interesting. He calls in to say these weird things? What kind of job you doing there with that telephone? No, I'm just kidding. Was Chris Rock the zebra? Oh yeah, the zebra, yeah. The fish from, I forget the fish movie. The big fish, I'll call it, in Madagascar. He slapped the zebra. He is constantly slapping people. Yeah, after that, like, who knows? Maybe it was like an OCD thing, you know what I mean? He just has to go up and slap someone with a prettier smile than he. David De La Rosa, welcome back to the Buttersock Cult for 6 whole months, half a year. Thank you, Joel. You're the man. Thank you, David. You are the man. I appreciate it. Shelly Shank with the 150. Thank you for the hot dog. Do strippers work when they're on their monthly? Huh, I don't know. That's a good question. I'm sure they have some techniques to keep things in order. Joel is a swinger to all the simps in the chat. Shush. Shush. I'm canceled. I'm always canceled, man. Perpetually canceled. Must slap face. Must slap face. Must slap face. Who knows? Maybe like some sort of demonic entity took over. Communication between you and your partner is key in an open relationship if feelings arise. Oh yeah, for sure. But I almost feel like you'd almost, like, someone might be, like, afraid to say it, you know? Because then it would, like, ruin a good thing that they have going on, like... Joel needs an Oscar award for best YouTube channel. That would have been so funny. I would have shown up in, like, you know, my Oscar dress would have been... probably just, like, a hoodie and sweatpants. Joel, hope you're having a good night. I'm curious how long you expect to be live. I'm a big fan of your content. Love binging through our videos. Yeah, usually, how long do streams usually go for? Like 3 hours almost? 2.5, 3 hours? Basically, I'm just like working my way through these Reddit stories, recording them. What's the worst date I've ever been on? I haven't had really too many bad dates, I suppose. Boring, maybe, but not necessarily bad. I think I kind of talked about one before where it was like, yeah, it was like the girl didn't look a thing like her pictures, which is really just like really off-putting because I didn't even recognize her when she came in like looking for my table, and then she just like unknowingly like brought her friend along, but in some weird way like that actually like took pressure off. I don't know, it like made things a lot more chill just to like get to know each other and stuff. But then the friend, she told me later, the friend actually like liked me, so that was kind of random. Feels weird having this guy speak normal and not spooky all the time. Have you ever heard the scary stories about D's? No, what's D's about? I think it's weird that you think it's fine. He slaps everyone, you effing weirdo. Look it up, you creep. No, I don't. Does he? He slaps everyone? I don't think so. I know you were talking to somebody else, because I was gonna say I don't think it's normal to go hurt people. What's something I look for in a partner? For they gotta have skin, right? Yeah, they gotta have working organs so I can harvest them. They aren't on stage for hours at a time. They switch out dancers every couple of songs. Weird. So they can mop up. Would I slap on the first date? Only if they made a joke about my wife. You're the GOAT for answering these comments and also making dope videos. Thanks, Danny. Appreciate that. Do you ever feel like taking a break from all this? Oh yeah, for sure. Especially, I mean, I'm sure do you guys get like ever really depressed like right before you go to bed for some reason, and then you wake up and you're like, what the hell was I even sad about? You know what I mean? And I assume, like, in that circumstance, because I feel that pretty consistently with that, I assume it's, oh, Queen, no worries, no worries. Yeah, I like big mommy milkers. But yeah, like, I don't know, right before bed, you just get, like, all these thoughts, and I was just kind of like, sometimes I get overwhelmed with the channel where I'm just like, what the fuck? Like, I run a YouTube channel, you know what I mean? And, like, it's pretty popular, and how long can I do this? And like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? And you know, even I don't know, it's just weird. It's like, and maybe it's just like the repetition, I guess, but I guess it's like interactions like these, like the live chat stuff where it feels a lot more social, that I really enjoy it. Collab with Lazy Masquerade, of course. Sometimes forget to tag people. Oh, that's okay. Am I a butt or boob guy? I like bottoms, you know? But I don't know, I think everybody is very unique beauty to them. Why did I get bonked? Everybody's getting bonked. Hey, I realized I forgot my lip lube up in the bathroom. So let me grab that. It makes reading way easier if I have that. So I'll leave the music playing, but I'm going to be 30 seconds. Okay. Sorry about that. Yes, my lip lubricant. It is called Goop by All Good, or maybe it's Good by Goop. I don't know. But it's basically just like, what do they call it? Chapstick. Remember that word? And it just makes reading way easier. The chat almost paused. Like, okay, we'll wait. Joey, you would make everyone go crazy in your next live if you started playing the Magic Mike music in the background. Yeah, it usually gets them going. I do have the twerk music, though, on the certain dono. Things be flapping around. All right, we're going to switch over to the spooky screen. Thanks for waiting. All 400 beautiful people here. Do you even slap? Why couldn't she slap?
Listen.
Maple Cat with the 5 says, so glad to catch a stream after an absolutely wild shift. Thank you for always delivering top tier content. So thank you, Maple. I appreciate the kind words, and thank you for the 5. Thank you, thank you. And Rook X, what's up? With the 5 says, I'm gonna have to vote Let's Read for most OP narrator. He honors his work, straight facts. Thank you. Get the lip grease. Get that lip grease on. Put it on. Put the lotion on your skin. That wasn't 90s porn music. Dude, if that was porn music, that'd be the only porn I ever watch. Because that shit's fire. The spooky screen. Anyways, hope everything's sounding good for you guys on your end. I'm going to load up my microphone here. Drink tea or water when you read these lines. So I'll usually start off with some tea because it's warm and it kind of warms up my throat. And then I usually just have water that I sip on as I go. Wondering why I have a Goop product? Well, the reason I have this Goop product, and I also don't know if it's actually from the Goop company, because it's not like what's her name stuff, or maybe it is. I don't know, but it's from, I don't know, it just says All Good Goop. Will transform the way you think about balms, made in our solar-powered community kitchen with organic herbs, including calendula grown on our own farm. Each jar is lovely hand-poured just for you. See, they thought about me. They thought about me when making this goop. This big pile of grease. But the reason I like it is just because the ingredients are all organic bullshit, whereas, I can still use Aquaphor, which is totally fine and very good for healing wounds and chapped lips and all that bullshit, which is basically just Vaseline. But, Vaseline is like petrolatum, or petrolatum? I don't know. It's just like a byproduct, you know what I mean? So it's not as cool as whatever wildflowers these hippie people found in the woods and then smushed into a grease and smoked. Sounds like Paltrow poison. Yeah. She shoves it down in my nose and I wake up in a cold sweat. Is she here? Is Gwyneth here? Alright, let's kick off these spooky tales. I thought the title of this one was funny because they said he had a very, or I've never seen such an evil grin. Fuck. The only bad thing is he reading a story? Yeah, I'm about to do it right this moment here. Petrolatum, yeah, it sounds like a Harry Potter spell. Petrolatum, oh, okay. Do I have any goop candles? No, I do have... The candles I got, though, are like wicking ones that make noise. And I can't light it right now, even though I really would. Petroleum jelly can help protect chapped lips, but it's not meant to moisturize your lips. Ah, I see. Alright. Oh wait, I have to clear this mic out. I'm dumb, Arthur. I'm dumb. Okay. Joe would make a good voice actor. Thanks, Jacob. I'm trying. I do be trying. It's still loading. Use Vaseline all over your face, it's bomb. Use it all over your face? Really? I almost feel like that would be like too oily that it would like cause you to break out or something like that. Lull you to sleep, I shall do my best. But sometimes these stories have jump scares, so I might scream out of nowhere. I've always looked much younger than my actual age. Back when I was a teenager and rolling into my early to mid-20s, this was a huge problem for me as I used to always get carded for alcohol or get talked down to because I looked like a kid. But now I'm in my mid-30s, it kind of works for my favor. But back when I was a teenager, the whole looking like a kid thing almost got me abducted once. And this is that story. It was just after my 14th birthday, when my grandpa decided to take me and my little brother on a trip to the gas station to pick up diesel for the tractor. I know that doesn't sound very exciting, but back then, we all lived on a dairy farm way out in the sticks, so there wasn't much else to do, and seeing the shiny gas station with all the snacks and candy was something of a major event for us. Kinda sad, I know, but whatever. Anyways, we rode over there, 3 deep in his single-cab Chevy S10, with me in the middle seat and my little brother on the passenger side. When we get to the gas station, my grandfather parks at a pump and heads inside. Only thing is, when he turns off the engine, he leaves the key in the ignition with us buckled inside of it. Considering we lived on the outskirts of a small town with next to nobody in it, and where basically nothing happens, this wasn't unusual. There was always a sense of trust and community where I grew up, and since everyone knew everyone else, it was totally normal to leave your doors and garages unlocked, leave your wallet in view on the... leave your wallet in the local diner in view, and you get the idea. Anyways, just after my grandpa walked into the gas station to make small talk with the clerk, like I said, everyone knew everyone, this guy just appears at the passenger side window and starts trying to talk to my brother. We'd been brought up to be friendly and polite to folks, even to strangers, but while my brother seemed only too happy to walk to the guy, But while my brother seemed only too happy to talk to the guy, even if he was a little shy, I got this straight up bad feeling about the guy, like deep down in my gut. I know it might sound a little kooky of me, but You know when people on the TV talk about how they can see people's auras floating around them as they're talking? There was always something clinging to that guy that, although I couldn't see it, I could feel it. Maybe it was the way he was looking at my little brother that set off my spidey senses or whatever, but the second I laid eyes on him, I got to praying that my grandpa would come back, quick. I don't even think about the fact that he might see the truck key still in the ignition. I didn't think that he'd do anything crazy at all for that matter. So when he did, geez Louise, I just about freaked out in my skull. After talking to my brother with that devilish smirk on his hot bearded man in a kilt. Anybody you guys know wear a kilt often? After talking to my brother with that devilish smirk on his face, he gets to looking around the inside of the truck, probably for something to steal or something. But then he sees the truck keys, how they're just dangling there in the ignition, and oh my God, the smile that appeared on his face was without a doubt the absolute most evil, predatory thing I've ever seen in my life. But even then, my first thought is, he's going to take Grandpa's truck. Like I really couldn't even fathom what he might actually have in mind. As the man started making his way around to the driver's side, I started telling my little brother, "Get out of the truck." He's all like, "Why?" And then I give him my big sister look and say, "That's a bad man, James. He wants Grandpa's truck." And immediately my little brother starts trying to undo the buckle of his safety belt. But the moment he even went to do it, it was like I could see the disaster unfolding before my eyes. My grandpa's truck was all beat up and hardly anything actually worked on it except the engine that made the thing scoot. And one of the things that notoriously didn't work was the safety belt release button on the passenger side. A lot of the times it was just kind of funny. Like I remember my dad not being able to undo it and being like, "Well, I guess this is my life now. I live in my dad's truck." But let me tell you, the time my little brother got stuck in the car and I thought that he was about to be abducted, completely terrifying. Like I said, I still didn't think that he wanted anything but Grandpa's truck, so I was just focused on getting my brother and me out of it so the evil grin guy could just drive off with it if he wanted to. But then as he opened the door and climbed into the driver's seat, he grabbed me by the arm so I couldn't get out. All the while my little brother is still struggling with the buckle. Then, with that same evil smile on his face, a grin that said he'd be gifted. Do 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 do. I don't look a day past 90. Appreciate it. You're a sucker for dudes in sweater vests. My boyfriend won't wear one. It makes me lay sad. Damn, bro just gave up. Then, with that same evil smile on his face, a grin that said he'd been gifted with the one thing. Okay, sorry. Then, with that same evil smile on his face, a grin that said he'd been gifted with the one thing he wanted in the world, he said, "You two are my kids now." It hit me that me and my little brother were, in a way, sorry. It hit me that my little brother and me, It hit me that me and my little brother were in way more trouble than we first thought, and I went into big sister overdrive to try and protect him. I remember how my grandpa kept a bunch of old tools underneath the front seat, mostly because his truck was just a mess, not out of any big desire to protect himself or stash a weapon or anything like that. Then even with the guy's hand wrapped around my arm, I had just enough wiggle room to reach underneath the seat and grab the first loose piece of metal I could find, which just so happened to be some kind of wrench. Then I came up and just started beating on the guy, stopping him from starting up the engine as he tried to stop me from hitting him. I remember being scared for me and my brother, but I also remember being scared that I might end up killing the guy or something, that I'd have to actually bash his brains in to be able to keep us safe. I didn't want to hurt anyone. I didn't want to hurt anyone. I didn't want it to be happening at all. But my grandpa wasn't there to help, and I didn't think that he'd realize what was going on in time for him to stop it. Thankfully, he was wrong about that, as he and the clerk had noticed someone getting into his truck almost the moment it happened. So maybe only a couple of seconds after I started beating on the guy, my grandpa appears at the driver's side door and just starts dragging the guy out of the seat before throwing him onto the ground. Both me and my little brother were crying and hollering by this point, and I remember just throwing my arms around him and saying, "It's okay, we're okay now," as Grandpa just started beating the life out of this guy before he straight up sat on the guy and yelled at the gas station's clerk to call the police. I remember watching the clerk, how before he ran back into the gas station, he gave my grandpa this big old 6-shooter pistol, and although the guy was struggling on the ground at first with Grandpa sat on him, all it took was him pointing the gun at the guy's face, and he just stopped bucking and trying to hit Grandpa, and put his hands up above his head with a scared look on his face. Grandpa then told us to get out of the truck and go inside the gas station to wait with the clerk. I found out years later that Grandpa had actually planned on just killing the guy right there, and he didn't want us to see it. He didn't, though, and somehow he found the restraint to just keep the gun aimed at his head until the sheriff and one of his deputies screamed into the gas station and took control of the situation. It was a huge deal back in the early 90s in our small town, as, like I might have mentioned already, there was basically no crime at all back then. Only other thing I can remember that caused as much of a stir was when 3 guys from Arkansas tried to start up a meth lab in our county, and it ended up exploding on them and causing this huge fire. Lots of people were saying last time anything this crazy happened was when ... and then they'd give either me or my little brother a look and then just stop talking. Had me thinking about what happened to us a lot around that time, and as I got older I realized more and more just how lucky we really were. You smashed that like button as if I paid it. Hell yeah. You brutally murdered the like button. Oh my god. Please, Lord have mercy. I wish your grandpa was this about it. Jesus Christ, my grandparents were pretty about it, to be honest with you. They lived by an old code. One that would have no issue. Some spicy fan fictions. Probably wouldn't read those on stream. I mean, if my life ever gets to, maybe I need to save up for a big trip to space or something like that, I'll just start an OnlyFans and read some spice and everything nice. How many stories we got tonight? So that was one of 12. Or one of 11, I forget. 11 or 12. But okay, so now we're on to story numero 20. Okay. Balin's like stuff is annoying. No, that's funny. It's the only bad thing is that like he has really really long intros. I noticed with some of his videos, and I almost feel like people might be more inclined to leave the video if they have to hear really really long intros. But at the same time, I often wonder, like, because he's had so much success, maybe with getting people to hit the notification bell or subscribing and that kind of thing, maybe like telling them
Listen.
a call to action as the video starts is maybe like a good thing. Hence why I kind of have that like click the subscribe button like graphic that pops up on screen after the first story and before the first story, just to kind of like remind people. Hey Steve, thank you for the 2. Thank you Steve. Double digit stories, oh yeah. We going in deep. Heal with the 279 Canadian maple syrup dollars. Scream. I don't think I can scream, to be honest. I feel like there's like this weird
Listen.
trigger inside of me that just like can't be like, almost as if though you have like headphones on, or like, you know how like some people like squint when they pull the trigger of a gun or something like that. That's how I feel with my screaming right now, is that I feel that I would blow all of your ears out. So I would not want to scream. You really do hate the like button bullshit. I skip it every time. His stories are good though. Okay, yeah, I mean, I feel like people should leave that comment just so he knows, like, and honestly, it probably would help his watch time, or it would help his, audience retention, especially for like new people. Because I'll be honest, like if like I'm not really like into watching a lot of content, but what's that the Disturbing Truth. I worked with this channel called The Disturbing Truth, and his editing skills are just insane. Like when it comes to true crime stuff, like it literally reminds me of like how fast paced like a TikTok could be, or how fast paced like a Vine compilation, you know what I mean? Like it's just like it moves so quickly, and I feel like that's the kind of stuff that just like pulls you in, where your brain is constantly being stimulated to the point where you're like, well, I'm not going anywhere now, you know what I mean? Whisper scream. My love, I loved her. Oh, okay, he did a vote thing and 98% told him to keep it. Oh, okay, nice. Well, I guess good to go. If I were to scream, it wouldn't bother you. I appreciate it. TikTok is for skinny losers, I know. They need to gain some weight, eat some food. My name is Emma. I'm from the UK, and I have a story I think you might be interested in. I've loved horses and ponies all my life, and whenever I can, I get out into the countryside to go pony trekking. This usually involves walking and trotting around a variety of forests here in England and Wales. Nothing too strenuous, and I usually find it to be a very relaxing and centering experience. But the last time I went, something happened that was actually one of the creepiest things I've ever experienced. We were in a place called Kielder Forest Park. Is that? Are you guys familiar? Have you guys heard about this? Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? Kielder. Kielder. We were up in a place called Kielder Forest Park in Northumberland, and although we had some experienced guides with us, it was my first time up there. Kielder also has one of the longest pony tracks in the whole of the UK, which means you can literally ride for hours without having to loop back on yourself. I don't really mind having to repeat a trail. It's all the more time on a horseback, but it definitely does take a bit of the excitement away knowing that you're just going in circles. So with that in mind, you can understand why I was quite excited to get up there. Only about 2/3 into the ride, our ponies started to get a little bit skittish. Now, I know ponies can be some of the most temperamental creatures on Earth, but they don't like. But what is it? Now, I know ponies can be some of the most temperamental. Temperamental. Now, I know ponies can be some of the most temperamental creatures on Earth, but if they don't like you or they're not in the mood to be ridden, they'll let you know as soon as you try to saddle them up. It's not like they get halfway into a ride and decide, forget this, I'm done. They also tend not to be scared of much, as they know a bite or a swift kick is the likely solution to any of their problems. And honestly, they'd be mostly right about that. So, as you can imagine, we were really confused when our ponies started freaking out on this section of track that was lined with trees. They seemed absolutely terrified, and for no discernible reason, it was so bad that at one point, my pony, Shamrock, actually tried to throw me off. I did everything I could, but nothing could calm her down. She was whinnying and doing 360s trying to spot whatever was scaring. She was trying to spot, okay. You're still sleeping in my jeans. I've moved on from sleeping in jeans to sleeping in a full denim suit. So it's like pretty much pajamas, but they're denim. And it's not like soft, imitation. None of that imitation bullshit. It's hardcore, full on, tanned hide denim. Full on Brett Favre shit, you know what I mean? Some Lee Dungaree shit. I sleep in that, along with denim socks and a little denim hat with a little point at the top. And when I get tired, I get my little plate with a candle stick sticking out of it. I'm rubbing my eyes. It's like 1 a.m., maybe later. I'm walking to the bathroom. Everything denim. Yeah, J-Lo style. Let's go. You should get windbreaker jammies. So who ripped off whose music? You or Mr. Balin? What do you mean? I actually have no idea what you mean. I'm not very familiar with Mr. Balin's like content outside of just like kind of scrolling through some of his videos. How's my day at the gym? I did not go today. I don't know. Sometimes I get like gym depression, where you just do the same shit over and over again. And then, you get caught up in something else. And did I say whinnying? Did I mean whinnying? Whinnying? Let me look that up. Winnie the Pooh. Winnie, okay. Justin Timberlake style when he was with Brittany Denham. Yeah. Oh, whinnying, okay. Everything in my house, just straight denim. And really it's not like it's not by choice. It's like everything I touch turns to denim. It's like that king who turns everything to gold, and it's like a curse. This is my curse. To be endlessly stylish. I did everything I could, but nothing could calm her down. She was whinnying and doing 360s trying to spot whatever was scaring them. I was doing the same, but I saw absolutely nothing among the trees. You'd think the ponies would want to get out of the area if they were so scared, but they all just huddled together on the trail and refused to budge. In the end, we had to dismount and literally drag the ponies along the rest of the track, and one of the girls ended up getting a nasty kick from one particularly frightened pony, so naturally she was very upset. We were all quite shaken by the time we emerged from the trail, and one of the first things we asked the guides was what could have caused the ponies to freak out in such a way. Personally, I thought it might have been someone's dog running around the forest. Then it could have been a domino effect with one pony after another getting spooked. But according to the guides, a border collie lived on the same farm the ponies were stabled at, so it's not like they weren't familiar with them. The guides rejected the idea that it was a fox or a badger scaring the ponies too, I mean, they really had no idea what it was, hence why they were just as freaked out as us, I suppose. I'm not saying that there was some bloody monster in the woods or something. I'm not one for ghost stories either. But sometimes I find myself wondering what exactly scared those poor ponies so much. We don't have bears or wolves or coyotes or mountain lions out here, and you're more at risk of a seagull attack than anything else in England. So what could have been out there, hiding among the trees, that could scare the Jesus out of the ponies like that? Maybe they meant bejesus. Bejeebus. Wait. Haters with the two says this story is already on the podcast? No.
Hey,
Is it really?
listen.
I don't recognize this story at all, and this is like pretty new. So unless we're mixing it up with something else, I don't think that that's true. Does anybody else recognize this story? I don't recognize this story, to be honest with you, as far as like, oh, it definitely is? You feel like you heard this before? Huh. I don't think so. Why are we nitpicking? I mean, it's fine to nitpick if it's like a repeated story, but I'm like 99% sure that this is not a repeat. Oh, a guest narrator read it on there. Oh, fuck. Well, now I guess you get to hear it from me. Wait, really? A guest narrator read it? Damn. My bad. The future. Just heard it yesterday. Okay. You don't recognize it? Okay. Yeah, no, it's on the podcast. The narrator, Let's Not Meet, read it on your podcast. Oh. On the actual podcast. Okay. Well, I guess it's, okay, so it's over on the podcast, but it's not on the YouTube channel. Okay, that would make sense. All right, well, thank you for letting me know, though. See, that's probably why I didn't recognize it. Like, interesting. Well, good to know. Right, all right. We don't have bears or wolves or coyotes or mountain lions over here, and you're more at risk of a seagull attack than anything else in England. So what could have been out there, hiding among the trees, that could have scared the bejesus out of the ponies like that? I'd always thought our woods and forests here are pretty safe places to be, but maybe I was wrong. All I know is that I'm going to be much more careful in the future. Hey, Brandy with a 10. Says Joel, a channel called Mr. Knox has vids out using your voice and not giving you credit whatsoever, just looking out for you. Mr. Knox. What a stinker. I'm looking into it right now. Mr. Knox. 2.4K subscribers. 4 horrifying real home break-ins. Let's see.
Hey, listen.
He does appear to have multiple people in his... do you know, Brandy, by chance, which video it would be? Perhaps we can just ask him to take those ones down. I hate to be always like... I don't know. It seems he has multiple narrators in his stuff, so I don't know if it's like his voice with somebody else. Like... Huh. Well, this British guy's voice sounds consistent on the channel, though. That'd be funny if, like, I gave Mr. Knox, like, permission to, like, do a... to do a collab or something, or, like, to use it, and I, like, forgot and, like, copyright strike him. I mean, I wouldn't, but... His voice sounds nice though. It sounds pleasant. I just it seems like it's pretty consistently like a British person. So I haven't found one with me in it though. Oh well. If you find it, just let me know. It's just kind of random. Oh, Mr. Knox is Mortis Media. Oh, okay, so that might make sense if he used like an old, you know, one that we did together or something like that, and then just included it. Who knows? Maybe Mortis reached out to me for a collab and said, she said the channel is Mr. Knox. Oh, right. Yep. Yeah. I just like to get like the, well, if someone's telling me if it's more, yeah, let's see, channels. Oh, normally, what if I go to, I mean, this really doesn't matter. It's not a big deal at all, because if someone really does like try taking someone's, I mean, they have similar accents, the Mortis Media and this Knox guy, but are they the same person? Sorry. Sounds very similar, but just watched the trailer for the next season of Ozark. I can't wait to watch Ozark. You know, I have not watched it before. Oh well. Anyways, if you happen to find that one, it might just be Mortis Media using like an old video or an old thing. That we've done together. Do I enjoy dreaming? Yeah, I love dreams. Dreaming is my favorite, like one of my favorite things, and like one of my biggest motivations to just like go back to sleep.
Hey, listen.
Just in case with the tense is how dare you not give credit? How long can someone get? I'm too offended to ask the main question. Also, Joel was wondering if you're going to make any few footage videos. You know, potentially. Still got to do research on that and that kind of thing, but definitely get into that. And if you guys like those like true or not true, sorry, like footage videos, kind of like chills, me and Robin are actually going to be working on a new channel. It's going to be Robin's channel, but like he's currently working on it, but I think it should take off. It's going to be called Midnight Macabre. Should be sweet. You know, we already recorded one video for it, but he's kind of like heading that, but because he's so good at editing and because he's so good at like other stuff, I mean, I'm just kind of like lending my voice to it, and I imagine it's going to be very, very high quality. And Defunct Ninja, thank you for the 150. Do I enjoy aging and dying? Not really. You don't remember any of your dreams, Vixa? Like any of them at all? Sometimes I find that the ones that I remember the most are the ones where it's like you're sleeping in for the day, and I don't know, like say you're sleeping in later, and like I feel like that's where my like REM cycles tend to happen, and then you wake up like maybe 30 minutes, an hour later, and I don't know, you tend to remember that. Is it like those paranormal compilations? It's going to be a bunch of different stuff, I think. Just like crazy footage, paranormal stuff. The first video is all paranormal, so that should be interesting. But I'll keep you posted on that. I mean, it might be a ways out before kind of like things pop off with that. But I think they want to release like weekly or bi-weekly or something like that. You're officially supporting me on Patreon. Thank you, Claudius. How are you, my friend? Mr. Moore. It's good to see you. Do I dream in color or black and white? I mean, it really depends. Because I do have sometimes like black and white dreams, but then there are also other ones that are like, there will be times where like I'll be dreaming and I can like see the sun or see light in my dream, and it's just like so bright, you know, but it's like not like, I don't know, it's like the middle of the night, but you're like seeing, not like the sun is filled with color or whatever, you know what I mean? But you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, you just like can create things in your dream that you wouldn't expect that you could, to the point that it like hurts your eyes or affects your experiences and stuff. Nope, except really weird ones or nightmares, but I don't have those often either. Okay. Do you smoke a lot before you go to bed? Because sometimes people who smoke marijuana before bed tend to not have as deep of a REM cycle sleep. But, you know, having dreams is important. Joel, if you were British, what would you sound like? Probably a little like this. Reading spooky stories. A bit of scaries for ya. And just eating pretzels on fucking fire. Your dream is in 4K, 60 FPS. That's sick. You just dream of Call of Duty at all times. Yeah, Claudius, good to see you. Marijuana is a dream killer. Yeah, I remember anytime I had ever smoked it before, it felt kind of good because you would just like instantly teleport to the future almost, but yeah, you wouldn't dream a whole lot. I guess it's a good way if you have nightmares to avoid nightmares. You finally mastered lucid dreaming? That's fucking cool. You heard nicotine patches make dreams crazy. Try some as experiment. I don't know. I heard nicotine's not a great thing to have before bed just because it's, I don't know, it's almost like having coffee. Do you know Corpse Husband? He has a very deep voice. It's awesome. I've heard of him. You're smoking outside, Vix. Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Maybe that's it. Maybe a little too much marijuana before bed, and it kind of kills the REM cycle, the deeper REM sleep. And who knows, maybe if you stop smoking, at least for a night or two, you might get a really good restful sleep where like your brain can repair and all that kind of stuff, because that's sort of the benefits of REM. But REM sleep is, I believe, correlated with dreams more so. So, I'm a bartender at a gentleman's club. Our uniform, if you can call it that, is a very short, skimpy black dress and black bra. Due to my uniform being the way it is, I do my best not to go out in public directly after work due to dirty looks or perverted comments that I just don't have time for. Back before the current state of the world, I had just gotten off of work. It was around 2:30 a.m., and I decided to run to my local Walmart to grab some dog food and other household items that I needed, thinking that there really wouldn't be anyone there besides staff. I ran in with a jacket to try and be a little modest and went directly to the pet aisle. There was a guy stocking the shelves. I gave a wave and smiled and proceeded looking for my dog's brand of food. I grabbed a 20-pound bag and the stalker asked if I needed help. I'm not a really small girl, but I have a slight frame. Like I'm tall, but I have a small waist. I told him I was fine, but thanked him and headed to the grocery section. I was in the freezer section when my stalker, oh, I see. Sandra Sotelo with the 5 says, you should do scary subscriber dreams. I had one that I remember very vividly, and it was a super scary, disturbing, just brainstorming. Yeah, a lot of people have asked about dream videos, and I've thought about it, but there's just like a part of me that like, because I think I've done dream stories in paranormal videos in the past, and I've gotten like a lot of negative feedback on like the dreams, as if though they were kind of like erroneous to tell or kind of pointless once they found out that it was just a dream. So I kind of feel that the video might not do super great if I were to go down that route, but I've definitely thought about it, and I appreciate, you know, brainstorming for sure. Your brain stores in all the dreams you don't have when you're high, so when the THC leaves your system, like in Tolerance Break, you have tons of vivid dreams every night. Oh, okay, yeah. That'd be sick. Jacob, thank you for the 1.
Hey, listen.
I was in the freezer section when my stalker showed up again, this time with another guy. They were just standing there watching me decide which pizza to pick, and when I turned to leave, the stalker asked me again if I needed help. I told him no, but thanked him again and smiled. I then made my way to the checkout aisle. On my way out, I saw a man heading out about 10 feet behind. Fuck. Defunct Ninja With the 5. Scary boating stories, my suggestion, not the Titanic, though. Okay. We'll switch it up. I've definitely done, like, stories at sea. You know, stories at sea or scary ocean stories that probably would include something like that.
Hey, listen.
But I definitely like the idea, though. Oh, yeah, premonition dreams. That would be interesting. On my way out, I saw a man heading out about 10 feet behind me. I quickly walked to my car, threw my purchases in the passenger side, and jumped in and locked my doors. I was worried that he would try and talk to me, and I just wanted to go home. I felt dumb after realizing the guy went to his own car and wasn't even near me, and started my 15-minute drive home. I was about halfway home when I noticed this black car behind me, taking all the same turns as me. I live in a rural area, and while it's possible he lived nearby, there aren't many people that take these roads. I turned a road after mine, and he made the same turn. It leads to a dead-end road with a cow farm, so I knew that he was following me. I get to the end of the road and do a quick 3-point turn and speed back out to the road, and he's still behind me. I called my boyfriend and told him what was going on and that I didn't want to drive home where he would know where we lived, and asked him to meet me at a Walmart. I speed the whole way there, hoping a cop is sitting somewhere and will pull us over. Black car guy is still directly on my butt, no matter how fast I was going. I pull into the Walmart parking lot and park under a street lamp. The black car pulls into the same spot across from mine, and I'm freaking out. About 15 seconds later, I see my boyfriend's truck, and he pulls in, more like drifts in, up next to me, and asks if I'm okay, and I point to the car. Now, my boyfriend is not a small man. He's about 6'4" and pretty large. Like, his arms are the size of my head. He's very intimidating, but a very quiet and kind individual. He gets out of his truck and starts to walk over to the car and yells to them, "You need to talk to her or something?" And the guy in the black car just backs out and takes off. I don't know if it was the man that was hanging out with the stalker over at the I don't know if it was the same man that was at the store earlier or what, but I don't go out after work anymore. What is that channel, Dread Archive? Is it true crime? Oh yeah, Dread Archive. Is he in the chat? What are my top 3 favorite movies? Yeah, Tokyo Drifting to the Rescue. Tokyo! Do-do-do-do-do-do-do. Wee woo. Hey there, Natalia. Oh, Brandy with the 10. Okay, I had the name wrong. Oh, channel is Martin Animations. August 2021, 28 horror stories. Wasn't trying to upset anyone, just looking up. No, I appreciate it. No worries at all. Unfortunately, I already like triple strike that other channel, so they're gone completely. No, I'm just kidding. That didn't happen. I would never do that. Even if somebody was egregiously stealing my stuff, I don't really like to like ruin their day. I know, as weird as that sounds. But yeah, actually, I've worked with Martin in the past, so it is all good. I remember he was using a lot of my stuff, but almost like to the extent that it was like too fast. So I asked him to kind of like just only use 2 or 3 stories, so it and then use somebody else in the video to get his watch time or whatever for his animations and stuff. Just because, you know, I would prefer that they would have a reason to come over to my channel after they finish his, but it was like he was like basically doing the whole video but animated, which really just means he's like a fucking insane workhorse when it comes to that kind of stuff. But also it's like the animations are kind of like pretty quick to pound out, it looks like. And now he's doing a lot of what's his name, Southern Cannibal, and Unit 522 on there too. Okay, interesting. Oh. Yeah, it looks like I'm in... Let's see, I wonder if he's still... I would hope that he would include... Huh. It looks like I didn't pop up. Well, that's kind of stupid, though. He put me in story 6, but, like, he didn't... He only put chilling scares on the reference. Oh, chilling scares. How have I not worked with this person? Who are they? Interesting, dude. This guy almost posts, like, once a week. And... okay, like once a month or something like that. Interesting. There's some channels just like that know how to like work the YouTube algorithm, and it's just crazy like how many views and subscribers they get from like pretty minimal videos. And I guess like yeah, their thumbnails are very similar to Mr. Nightmare's too. Anyways, I'm literally just like not paying attention to chat. Sorry about that. Oh, my favorite movies. Yeah. I've said them. Some of my favorite movies. I talked about like Saving Private Ryan is great. It's just a very emotional movie. I like The Fountain from Aronofsky. I like Ghost in the Shell, the 1994 anime. There's another one. Cloud Atlas is really good if you've seen that one. I'm side questing. Yeah, I was doing some side quests. If he uses your material, you should insist he links your channel. Yeah, it's just like we've chatted before, and like it was like he was using a lot of my stuff. Show Joel your favorite emoji. Yeah, you should do that. But I don't know. It seems like he's just moving and moving and moving all the time. But I do appreciate him putting me in there. But yeah, it's like if someone hears you, it's like, and they don't know where to go to find your voice or whatever, it's kind of rough. Yeah, Cloud Atlas was wild. Saving Ryan's Privates, Joel's favorite point. Yep. Easy transition. Ever read the new One Piece chapter? No, I don't read any mangas or anything like that, but I've heard that there was a new One Piece. E-girls are trying to call themselves I-ladies. I-ladies, nuts in your mouth. Oh, man. That was a good setup. Yeah, the movie 300 is very good. Have you seen 300? Have you seen Gladiator? I haven't seen the sequel to 300, though. The YouTuber Just Creepy. His Skinwalker stories seem legit. No, I've never seen it. Ashley, no worries. Good to see you. Joel is anime. I embody anime. I live in anime. This is my anime life. I'm in London, UK. We're currently, I'm in London in the UK. Currently, at the time that I'm writing this, we're in the Tier 4 lockdown. Stay in your home, only go out for shopping, trips, or exercise. No mixing with people outside of your own home and your own support bubble, etc. And with the current mutation rampaging through London, hospital beds are nearly at capacity, and apparently the death tolls are starting to rise, and it made sense to stay indoors as much as possible. But every human being has a breaking point, and mine was 8 days of wandering around my one-bedroom apartment. I had talked myself out on Zoom and run out of conversations to talk to myself about. At 10 p.m., New Year's Eve, I decided to get some air, and which was allowed with the rules of Tier 4, and I go out for a quick walk around the perimeter around the local park, all on main roads, and it takes about 40 minutes. The plan was to stop at a local grocery store and pick up a bottle of red wine on the way back. I step out with mask firmly affixed and started walking. One thing that I was not prepared for was the eerily empty and almost silent streets. As it was just below freezing, I decided to hustle and cut through some side streets first. On hindsight, a big mistake. Navigating myself through very quiet side streets, I neared the park when I saw a van, a Mercedes Sprinter size, and turned in and rapidly approaching me. Sorry, the way they're writing this is like weird. It's almost like written like a 4chan thread. Your favorite movie is Megamind? Yeah, I always see the memes for Megamind, but I'm always curious, like, is it good? How to Train Your Dragon's your favorite? Yeah, people always say that Pradeep looks like Toothless. And like honestly, most black cats. I feel like Toothless has to be inspired based off of black cats. Paul Allen is in London. He is. Paul Allen. Paul Allen. Yeah, it's like reading out like green text. No bitches. I like the one with the cat where it's like no kitties. And then there was one where it was like somebody comment, like, what's his name? Chris Rock tweeted something out like, I'm fine, my gums took most of the blow or something like that. And then like somebody commented down below with like the Megamind meme where it's like Chris Rock but like slapped across the face and he's like, no hair. It was so funny. Hey Joel, had a bad week to start and always happy when I listen to you. Oh, thank you, Derek. Good to see you. If you handled customer complaints on the phone, you think you keep your cool? I would try my best, you know what I mean? It definitely would be, I can imagine, very difficult to deal with. Do I like tea? Oh yeah, I like tea. I pretty much like all consumable goods. If I can put it in my mouth, I like it. Navigating myself through very quiet side streets, I neared the park when I saw a van, a Mercedes Sprinter size, and it turned in and rapidly approached me. Deciding to let them pass before crossing, I came to a halt. The van began to slow as it approached me. I could see the cab was occupied by two men between the ages of 25 to 40 years of age. Then it stopped, window rolled down, and one man leaned out. Hey friend, we're lost. Can you tell me where the station is? And the accent was not from the UK, and I'm not going to state its origin as I'm not going to get into stereotypes, but alarm bells began to ring out immediately. What was a van doing out at this time, and why directions to the local train station in the middle of a lockdown? The van had stopped to the howdy do, neighborino. Howdy doody. You have to watch Megamind to get it. It's just not a regular hero movie. Okay. The van had stopped, so the side door was facing me. I stepped back a few paces and gave directions very quickly. I didn't understand at all. I think it's best if you show us. With that, he opens his door, and the side door to the van opens to reveal another two men. I just turned and ran. I knew what was going on, and I ran down the side street that I had emerged from. Take the van around. Follow him, I heard them yell. Knowing that these guys were fitter, younger than I, a foot race to my apartment building was out of the question. The only advantage I had was a head start and, hopefully, local knowledge of the streets. The side street leads into a larger street that has homes, all with large hedges. I ran past a few homes and entered the front garden of a house that had the most imposing and opaque hedge. It was unlit. I ducked down. Lucky for me, that house did not have a motion sensor light. Within a few seconds, I could hear footsteps. They went past me and stopped. I peeked through the hedge vegetation with a very limited view to see the man who had asked for directions. He was a few houses down from me and on the opposite side of the street. He was looking around. Then the sound of the vehicle. I thought, oh no, the van. But luckily for me, it was a car. The man looked at his phone, looked around, pretending that he was just checking something, and then walked. leaving the residential street as quietly as leaving the residential street as quickly as possible, and the car continued its way. I waited for another 10 minutes, sitting behind the hedge in the front garden, practicing an explanation if the house lights came on. The house stayed unlit, and after my allotted time, I arose and quickly walked back to my apartment building, keeping to the shadows and reacting to almost every sound. I made it back, bolted the front door, and only when I sat down did I understand what I had just avoided. All this for some air and bottle of red. I poured myself a black coffee and debated calling the police, but what would I say? Had anything really happened that they could act on? Intuition of being kidnapped or being in danger is not enough evidence. Plus, being a man, this would not be a priority, especially in a night that they would be overstretched on. I just waited in the new year? Is that what they say? Waited in the new year? I just waited in the new year that... fuck. Bottle of bread, yeah, just a bottle of bread. They should make bottled bread, that sounds pretty yummy. I guess they kind of do if you get like dough or some shit. You've been writing short horror stories, but I started feeling hopeless lately, just feeling down on them. But I'm sure I'll get over the hump soon, hopefully. Oh yeah, for sure. You know, the one thing is like, just think about every famous writer ever. Just ever. Literally every famous writer ever. They were not happy with their work. They, constantly judged themselves. Even H.P. Lovecraft, literally like the father of like cosmic horror. You know what I mean? Horror. He hated his work so much that most of it wasn't even released, and I think a lot of it he like kept from the world and like hid and destroyed a lot of it and stuff like that. So I think the thing that they tell most people that write is to just keep writing. You know what I mean? Someone's gonna like your stuff, no matter how much you think it's not good. Someone is gonna like it. And oh yeah, canned bread is beer. I'm a complete idiot. So but yeah, like somebody's gonna like your stuff, and maybe instead of looking at it so much as like some sort of like looking at it as like always needing to be like the tippity top tier of art, you can just look at it as like an exercise. Like, maybe I didn't have the best workout the other day, but you went and did it. You know what I mean? You went and did it, and the whole point of it is just to keep doing it and doing it, do it every day. Write a little bit every day and just keep doing it, and whatever you've written in the past, you might cringe at it and stuff like that, but you just keep doing it, Been reading some words like that lately, so I appreciate it. Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I just waited in the new year, realizing that I had a lucky escape and that I should stock up on red wine at a more decent time. Okay. Bread hits different. Yeah, bread's good as fuck. Canned bread equals beer. My mind is blown. I know. Who would have thought we would get to this point? I guess you can just stick a beer can in the oven. Should be good to go. Have you tried Ezekiel bread? What? Yeah, I've seen it. What is it? Just like a gluten-free thing? Spam is in the can. You're about to go to sleep, but it was lovely being here. Yeah, check you later, son. Whole wheat is better than I thought too, by the way. Oh yeah, I even like the bread that's gluten-free. Like, it's crazy how long it lasts. It just like lasts really, really long. I feel like sometimes I get new bread, or I used to get it growing up, and it would just be like moldy in a short period of time. I had to eat it really fast. Seed bread is the optimum food choice. Yeah, I remember it was so funny. Like growing up, there was obviously all like the typical like Wonder Bread and potato bread and all those ones that were just kind of generic breads. And then all of a sudden, all like the hippy dippy shit started popping up that was like filled with like seeds and worms and all that good stuff. But it was just like so fucking good. Like as a kid, I just like consistently made like triple decker PB and J's with it and just fucking explode. Am I a fan of the Resident Evil games or the movies? Yeah, they are fun ideas and stuff, but I never really like take the time to play them. I did play a little bit of Resident Evil 2 remake, and I was really impressed with that game's like gore system and just the graphics in general. It was fucking sweet. The rolls from Cracker Barrel took over my life for a short period of time. They came in, they moved in, took you hostage. Yeah, there's near Cracker Barrel here there's another, oh yeah, Texas Roadhouse. The rolls there are so fucking good. Oh my god. And then they have like this like sort of like brown sugar butter. It's just so addicting. I could just get a whole fucking thing of that and just eat it. You love worm bread? Same. That's where Wormy went. He went to be part of a loaf. Talk bread to me. So this happened to me at some point between the cusp of fall and winter last year, in 2019, and with no craziness rampaging through us yet. At the time, my husband and I both worked weekend night shift jobs, him at an IT service and me as a CNA in the local hospital's ICU. As we had no reason to be up and awake during the day, we lived a rather vampire-like schedule, sleeping all day and staying up all night. 4 days off, 3 12-hour shifts a week. It just worked. The best part about being a night dweller is the fact that you can go, or used to be able to go, in the middle of the night to do your grocery shopping. No lines, no hustle and bustle. You just go at your own leisure and dodge the occasional pallet of stock or graveyard shift worker who's filling up the shelves and probably wishing everyone present would quit taking things away right as he stocks them. But anyways, it's 2 a.m., peak energy time for me in the hubs. This Walmart is in a pretty decent part of town and everything's well lit, so I typically don't feel nervous walking around in the middle of the night. Hubs did tours in Iraq and has a good head on his shoulders, so even less reason to be concerned, right? Right. As we walk through the entrance, my eyes immediately drift towards the seasonal section. I have ADHD and am a pain to shop with according to Hubs, as I tend to wander off when something neat catches my attention. Unbeknownst to me, my hubby notices a small gaggle of young adults behaving rather immaturely, i.e. riding around in the electric handicap carts, intentionally smashing into displays, causing some general havoc. Oblivious to this all, I'm still wandering around while he patiently follows after, filling our cart here and there along the way. He sees these kid adults causing more trouble near the back of the store in the food almost shoes section, but once again, my attention was on more important things, like looking at the blind bag toys that I have absolutely no need for. We make it to the end of our shopping journey and head towards the self-checkout since they don't bother staffing the actual lanes in the middle of the night. While he scans in bags, I excuse myself to use the restroom and to go after a couple of Pokemon on my Pokemon Go game. I dilly-dally long enough that he's checked out and back at the car by the time I come out, so I make my way over to the compact SUV and modern-day station wagon that we own, where he's busy loading the groceries into the trunk. Hubs is very particular about how things are packed, which is fine by me, so we have a system. He loads, I return the cart to the cart holder thing. While I wait for him to finish loading, I hear a bunch of snickering and laughter coming from the car to the right of ours. So the cart in Hubs is between me and the other vehicle. I wasn't aware at the time, but these kid adults had been sitting in their car the entire time as he was unloading our spoils of war into the trunk, mocking and jeering at him for basic things, like what he's wearing on his shirt. It was a Pokemon logo, if anyone cares, and other trivial things. Once I got there, however, all focus turned towards me. It took me a second to realize that they were actually addressing us, but soon I could make out what they were saying. They were laughing at my husband, asking him if he actually censored a whale like me. Now, I'm no string bean by a long shot. I have some decent curves going on. So they honed in on my size and appearance. In my defense, does anyone really dress up to go to Walmart at 2 a.m. and encourage each other to keep throwing pot shots in our direction at the fact we were together, anything they could think of to make fun of us with? Being the sensitive, self-conscious soul that I am, I could already feel my eyes start to water. I figured that we would just finish what we were doing and leave them behind in their gloating and foolishness, but Hubs wasn't going to have any of it. It was one thing, according to him, for them to mock him, but when they started being cruel about me, he'd hit his limit. He's truly a non-violent man, but he was so riled up by what they were saying that he balled up his fist, raised his voice, and told them to shut up with a decent smack against their side window, which had rolled up upon Hub's approach. My knight in shining armor coming to my defenses, I thought. That action caused a series of quick, chaotic reactions. The young men, 3 of them, started angrily yelling, and I distinctly heard one of them ask the other if he wanted his gun, to which the ringleader said, "Yeah, give it." Holy pokeballs, I thought. I tell my Hubs to get in the car and, in a panicked rush, decided to abandon the shopping cart in front of their car in hopes of creating an obstacle for them. I fling myself into the SUV, and by this point, one young man has started smacking on the hood of our car while another steps behind it, trying to block us in. I vividly remember through my blurry vision seeing a young woman in the backseat of their vehicle, looking somewhat embarrassed as she mouthed, "I'm sorry," in my direction. No time to think about that, not with the ringleader appearing from the car at any moment. Hubs pulls the car in reverse, and the young man behind us had no choice but to move, lest he become a human pancake. Hubs drives off out of the parking lot like a bat out of heck, and it's clearly evident that my cart obstacle did little to delay them, as their Dodge Dart was right on our tail, flying down the road right behind us. We made it through one green light before they caught up to us, sidling up in the lane next to us as I'm trying to remember to breathe, thoughts going on in 100 different directions. Thanks, ADHD brain. I see the passenger window roll down, and out comes a hand with a gun, pointed right in my, or rather, Hub's direction. I screamed something to the effect of them having a gun, though I'm sure it came out as incoherent shrieking in actuality. Hubs got the point, though, and chose, in that moment, to swerve directly at them with our vehicle, leaving them no choice but to drive onto the median or be hit by a bigger vehicle going 70 to 80 miles an hour. They swerved, which slowed them down, so Hubs hit the gas and kept driving, ignoring red lights along the way. Finally pulling myself together, I dialed 911 on my cell phone, and since the police station wasn't exactly nearby, the operator arranged to have some cops meet us at a local church a mile or 2 from where we currently were. Hubs keeps driving forward, car still at our heels, and he somehow managed to swerve a turn in the middle of the intersection while making it look like we intended to go forward. Other car flies on while we tail it to the cops at the church. They took down our statements and sent a few cars out to try to find them. I was completely useless when it comes to details, but Hubs came through to save the day and could tell them the make, model, color of the car and describe details about the individuals. All I could remember in my mind was the face of the girl who mouthed the "I'm sorry," and lo and behold, I kid you not, one of the officers took us to his car, flipped through his fancy police computers, and the on-screen pops the image of the same girl I'd seen in the Walmart parking lot. Another click, and the same young men, save for one, were the one put on the screen. Apparently these upstanding citizens had been confronted by the police department only nights prior. I wish I could remember the charges, but my mind was overwhelmed by that point. Most of the details are a blur, like my mind intentionally tried to redact things to protect itself or something. Now, needless to say, I developed genuine anxiety about going to Walmart in the middle of the night after that. Thankfully, we both transitioned into daytime jobs since then, so we share the pain of daywalkers' normal grocery store woes these days. Holy shit. Did you guys see that? Or rather hear that? That was like a fucking big old story, and I read through it without any mistakes. Pretty dope. A mistake-less story. BTS Armory, what did you miss? You just missed me absolutely plowing through a Walmart story without a single flub up. Can you make more of your sleep videos? They help so much. You mean like the longer 3-hour ones? As the Raven Dream sounds like Jesse Eisenberg. That's pretty good, right? I don't remember what Jesse sounds like. Big boy story. Hubs killed it. Yeah. I always like kind of low-key disdain when someone like refers to their significant other as like a particular pet name like 60 times over in a story. Even if they say the term my significant other like too many times, it's just like, bro, just say like he or she or fucking Brimblebroth, their like actual name. Like, I don't know, man, just change it up a bit. We get it. You love them and you cuddle and you eat potato chips together. That's exciting. Celebrate with a bottle of bread. That would be kind of a funny like beer brand just called bread. What up, Lo-Fi? Joel, check out Gary Owen. What's Gary Owen? Is it a scary person? Gary Owen, comedian, American actor, stand-up comedian after being named funniest serviceman in America. Oh, he's a serviceman, okay. Venikins with the 2 says, late to the party, boop snoots to you and Pradip, thank you. Do we both get our snoot booped? Hey, Booze and Booze, Jolteon, I want to do more than just narrating Reddit stories on my channel, ideally a hybrid of stories and visual creepy photo videos like Nexpo and etc. In your experience, can that be done or not? Well, I don't know about a hybrid channel per se, but if you look, sometimes it's just to kind of get a healthy perspective on how YouTube works. It's good to like sort people's channels by like oldest, and then just like literally look at the evolution of their channel, and you'll see that like Nexpo did like, he did stuff very similar to Rainbot did as far as like disturbing videos from around the net or disturbing things from around the internet and stuff like that or whatever. And that's become one of his like many series, but obviously he's pretty well known for going along or like doing documentary style videos about internet mysteries. So like you notice like as time goes on, he gets more and more specific like on what like his specific niche is. Same with a lot of YouTube channels, obviously. You know, even though PewDiePie could do a video where he does a music video one day, then all of a sudden does a you know, fucking meme review the next. It's just like there's same with Markiplier and those kind of guys, like they can get away with that kind of stuff with the variations. But I think when you're starting out, you almost need something that like brings people in before you start to like go deeper into your niche. And it's also tough, like if your channel, I mean, your channel is still young, I believe, and but the number one thing that I've come to find is that you don't want to split your, hey, what's up, Jose? You don't want to split your audience too much, because then they won't get, you know, notifications, or they won't get notified of new videos as much if they didn't watch like your, like for me, I don't do paranormal stuff as much because not as many people watch it, and then I fear that less and less people will watch the other ones if that one takes a beating, you know what I mean? Thank you, Gabby. Maribel Silva with the 5. Thank you, Maribel. How are you? Woo, 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 woo. The best comedian is the Joker. It's literally in his name. I know, right? It's me, the Joker. Oh, Batman. I just shit my pants. It's really stinky. What kind of name is Joel anyway? Do you have a nickname? I don't know if that's serious or not, but that's pretty funny. I don't care. I mean, I do have a nickname. It's Let's Read, but Gotcha, that makes sense. Yeah, no worries, Booze. Yeah, it's just like I think a lot of people like even if you look at Dream, like somebody did a really big breakdown on like how Dream's channel sort of evolved, and how like once he started finding his niche, he actually went back and got rid of like some of his old material, so that like his catalog of videos were very specific. Joel is a good name, like the character in Twilight Eyes by Dean. Yeah, there's lots of good Joels. I don't think I've ever met a Joel that I don't like, to be honest. My father was a gamer, a weeb. Oh, Batman, my father was a gamer, a weeb. I can't really do it. Zoo with the 5 says, I love your stories, bro. You come in clutch every time I'm bored and have nothing to... Oh, I appreciate it. You are welcome, Zoo, and thank you for the 5. I can imagine Joker saying Batman is a bitch and cack. Oh, Batman is a bitch. Nickname is Honey with 2 cups of sugar and 1 dash of flour. Yes. Every time you refer to me, you must say that entire phraseology. Holy shit, he has over 5 million subs. Be right back. Wait, who does? Your dad hates gaming? Whose dad doesn't hate gaming? Actually, my dad likes to play video games. He'll ask me for suggestions for stuff once in a while. It's pretty funny. It sounded like Scooby-Doo. Ruh-roh, Raggy. Only skinny nerds hate gaming. This is true. Alright, hey, Katero with the 7 Canadian maple syrup dollars. Been listening at work for so long, love all the stories, first time seeing... Oh, welcome. We have a sizable audience here today, almost like 700 folks. 700 folks. I'm always curious though, I just wonder, how do you get more people in a live stream? How do you identify... I guess you know what it is. I think I have to stream for longer. I think if I were to stream for 8 hours, it might get up there, or if I were to create more hype and stuff. Righty, where's my resticles? I can't do it. I would have to practice. Let's stick to Joel like magnets. Please do. You're not going anywhere. Dude, as a kid, I used to love playing with magnets. I remember just, you know how, when you're little and you gotta, wait around for your parents to fucking just talk about stupid parent shit with, your family or their friends or something, but I just remember being at my grandma's place, and I just really enjoyed playing with the magnets that were on her fridge. It was always a fun experience. Some jelly beans. Show cleavage. I wish I had some to throw around. Joel, will you do anything special when you get to 1 million subs? Well, I'm definitely changing my banner and my profile picture to something where it's I don't know. It's cool, it's unique, but it is more obvious that there's a podcast aspect to this, you know what I mean? And I don't even know if you can change your name at this point. I'll tweak, do a twerk reveal. Tweak. I'll be tweaking. How about do sing off your stories on what rap the story... What? Can I rap? Oh yeah, I can rap. I am a rapper. Isn't that part of astrology true? Astrology believes very heavily in magnets and amplifying the size of one's gluteus. Post on Craigslist, yeah. Hey guys, I think I saw you in the store. You were beautiful. If you could come watch my stream. Don't I dare change that pic? Well, what if I, changed it to something similar? You know what I mean? But it's OC, original content. What up, Sadie? Just keep telling people to support by liking and sharing the stream because it's a free way to support your channel. Oh, that's true, yeah. If you guys could click like and share, that would be oh so helpful. Oh, okay. Going to mom group on Facebook. Yeah, what are those moms up to? MILFs Anonymous. This took place when I was about 17. I'm a female. I moved in with my brother and sister-in-law into their apartment in the city. I'll admit I was a very innocent 17-year-old. I still had a lot to learn about the world and what people were capable of. I worked the evening shift at my job, and they let me stay in their spare room while I saved up to get my own place. They used the living room as their bedroom because their other rooms were too small, so when I got home from work, I either had to park around the back of the building and go in the back door, or park on the street out front and walk through an alleyway to get to the back door. One night, I got home from work and decided I wasn't ready for sleep yet. It was about 2 a.m. and I was still amped up from work, so I poured myself a drink and walked around to the front of the building to sit on the front steps and enjoy the night air before bed. While I was sipping my drink, listening to some music on my headphones, someone called out of the building next door and sat down on their steps. It was a young man around my age. After a few moments, he started to talk to me. I realized he was pretty drunk, but seemed harmless, so we chatted for a few minutes. He started telling me a story about how he chased some guy with a machete. Start cueing all the red flags. Then his friend also came out and also sat on the steps. His friend was fully wasted. Gonzo, if you know what I mean. Just sitting there holding his head in his hands. So I said, "Well, I better get going now. Have a good night." And I stood up to walk through the alleyway between the two buildings. I was nervous about going through there, but I was either that or walk all the way down the street and around the block to get to the back of the building. So I said goodnight and started walking through the alleyway to get to the back door, trying to stay calm and not appear freaked out. I look behind me and realize that the drunk guy is following me through the alleyway. He says to me, "Where are you going?" I said, I have to go home." And he responds, "You gonna leave me without a kiss goodnight?" I say to him, "I don't know you." And he says, "Come on, just one kiss." At this point, I'm starting to get nervous about where this is going when he snags his jacket on a nail in the alleyway. And I use this moment to make my way out of the alley into my door. He unsnags himself and catches up to me at the back door asking if he can come in. Mind you, I've never met this guy in my life. I tell him, "I'm sorry, my brother and sister-in-law are sleeping." I slowly close the door while he stands there staring drunkenly at me, half expecting this to go sideways. The way I figure, that night could have gone two ways. I was super relieved it ended with him on the other side of the door and me safely in my own house. I never saw him again, and I never went out at night by myself to sit on the front steps. I learned a valuable lesson that night. Potentially dangerous situations can creep up on you. You don't always see them coming until they're following you through a dark alley. Try not to put yourself in those situations and anticipate the creepy. "You gonna leave me without a kiss tonight?" The smooches. I sound like Johnny Depp. I'm a wee bit hungry, though. Hi, Mort. Hi, everyone. Where's Mort? Am I Mort? I'm not Mort, am I? Just one BJ before you go. I'm gonna eat some beef jerky. Anybody? You guys want some beef jerky? Sorry, it's loud. I clutched the story. Hell yeah, I'm getting good. Getting pretty decent at this narration shit. Oh, Daddy is home. Time for push-ups. We're on 22. Holy shit, okay. After this beef jerky, I'll do it. Blowing some kisses. Kiss D's. D's what? We're eating pecan pie with a scoop of ice cream on top. Hell yeah, Hawk. That sounds amazing. Joel breath finna be stank. From beef jerky? You know what? That's probably true. I'm gonna jinx it. Wait, what am I jinxing? Oh, me doing well. Yeah, probably. What kind of beef jerky? I threw it in the trash. Hold on a second. Mission Meats Beef Bar. So I don't know if you're familiar with that. But the ingredients are beef, sea salt, encapsulated citric acid, cultured celery powder, sea salt, black pepper, red pepper, garlic powder, coriander, never heard of that, onion powder, and then except those naturally occurring in cultured celery powder and sea salt, distributed by Mission Meats, Decorah. What's IA? Is that what is IA? Iowa? Or no? Not Iowa, right? Or is that Iowa? My mission is to put my meat in your mouth. Mission. Success. Have I played Elden Ring? No, I've seen a lot of it though. You never heard of coriander? I have not, no. Sounds familiar. I only tried seaweed after I moved to New Brunswick. Keep my beef out your mouth. Indiana. Is that IA? I guess that makes sense. Indiana. Oh, Iowa. Okay, it is Iowa. Okay. Coriander makes food taste like food. Wonder why. Can you role play with this? What would I even do? I'm role playing me munching on this jerky. Unpopular opinion, Denny's is good sometimes. Yeah, Denny's is good sometimes. When you're fucking blacked out. And you need something to throw up later. How many stories tonight? Well, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. And I think there's 11 or 12 total. Jerky ASMR. It's so hot where you live. I'm sweating like drool. I feel like seating necky. Yeah. That's the only thing I'm concerned about whenever if I record or something this summer. If that closet is just going to boil me alive in there. Also, does anyone know if microphones, like if they're in like a hot space for too long, if they take damage over time? Joel, I need an internship. Can I be your intern? Yeah. First order of business. Get me my spit cup. Ding. My spit bucket. Ding. You gotta carry it around like for like 6 months, and it's just like sloshing, just like this. Just like it looks like tar. Like what the fuck? Which weapon is worse, a gun or bow? Note that a gun shoots bullets at very high speed, but it makes loud bang. A bow shoots arrow at high speed, however, it almost noiseless. I don't know. I do like bows and arrows, and like Red Dead was a lot of fun to use the bow. And I love playing Hanzo. Cold affects electronics more. Okay, interesting. Oh shit. Okay, we gotta do push-ups. Are you guys gonna do push-ups with me? Daddy's push-ups. Daddy's home. Push-ups. 20 motherfucking 2 of them. Can I sing? No. I can kind of sing like Jack Skellington. Okay. You do a video on World War II stories? I think I did at some point, but I don't really do war stories anymore because YouTube doesn't like them. Alright, how many push-ups are you guys doing? And or some variation of workout? Okay, yeah, lo-fi's in. We're good to go. We got to do one more than last time. We did 21 last time. We're going for 22 now. You can count them with me as I go. I got to get my ass on the ground. Well, not ass, but... Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Shit, that was easier than I expected. I guess because I didn't work out today, but... Oh, fuck. Now I'm gonna be only skinny lures can't do 100 push-ups. I'm gonna be out of breath for the next fucking story. It's funny because it's like in the moment you don't feel out of breath, but then you get done and all of a sudden your body's like, what the fuck were you doing? Why were you lifting yourself up and down with your arms? It's so weird to think that like humans aren't very strong. Like I don't get it. It's kind of dumb. Like how the hell did we hunt anything in the past? I guess we made up for it with our big brains. And then we invented water guns and hentai. Too fast? I banged those out, yeah. Now you need to get dressed. You did them? Hell yeah, let's go. At the end of next year, we're all gonna be swole and jacked. Your arms feel like gelatin? Good. That's how you know it worked. You monster. We would tire out the thing they hunt. Yeah, that's crazy to think, like, just days and days of, like, trotting after something until it just collapses and then we just feast. Men do exercises so quickly. Well, maybe I should have focused more on like the the eccentric aspect of it and done it slower. But oh shit. Ooh. Ooh. Now we're all warmed up, baby. Chrysela with the big $50 donation out of nowhere. Make me twerk. My twerk. 22 push-ups plus 1 twerk. Hell yeah. The twerk is the hardest part. I'm actually curious, like, where I'll cap out at. I think I could do 30. I think I could do 40. Could I do 50? We shall see. You guys got to stick around for 25 more streams. What's the favorite horror story I ever told? Maybe the one about the creepy guy who smiled at me creepily. But thank you again, Chrysela, for the 50. Thank you. Humans were stronger in the past. Technology has made the human animal weak. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like, on average, like, you would have to use your muscles a lot more if you were in, like, a tribal situation, or even if you just, like, worked on a farm, you know, comparatively to, like, someone that is very sedentary for sure. Spencer, you working at Cracker Barrel? Are you allowed to listen to stuff at Cracker Barrel? Unless, I guess maybe if you're in the back. He did smile, no joke, for real, for real. That'd be funny, yeah, you just... Every day you read a creepy story about your dad saying good morning. Good morning! Like a smile. And like, this guy, it was the creepiest smile I'd ever seen. Do you ever have sleep paralysis? I have, but didn't hallucinate. Yeah, I've had it in the past, and didn't hallucinate or hear anything, but it felt like something was there. But I have not had it in quite some time. And I actually kind of like figured out how to just like mind over matter, like make it stop. Just like, and I'm free. We're at over 700. Oh shit, that's sick. Hello, 700 people. Click like, click share. Blah, 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 blah. I'm going to read a scary story now. At the time of the story, I had just finished my 6th grade year and was very athletic and took runs every day. This encounter occurred in the summer, and what comes with summer? Heat. So instead of running in the day when it was hotter, I began running in the evening when the sun was going down. On the day of the encounter, I followed my normal routine. I told my mom I was going to start my run and then began to listen to my music on my iPod Shuffle. Now, the way my neighborhood works is that there is only one entrance, which doubles as the only exit as well. I live in a suburban area, so the main road that passes the entrance of my neighborhood isn't very busy, but it isn't empty either. On the day, I was running down the main road of my neighborhood that all the small streets branch off of. I was close to the entrance and could clearly see all the cars passing by. I'm also clearly visible to all cars passing by. And I remember watching this gray Honda car slam on its brakes at the entrance on my neighborhood. This was done so fast and so hard that I heard the tires squeal over the song that I was listening to at full volume. I brushed it off as someone following directions that most likely nearly missed my neighborhood's entrance. The car then began to... The car began up the road I was running on, going extremely slow, at least 10 miles an hour under the speed limit. I could make out 3 shadows in the car through the darkness and a little light from the house porch lights, 2 at the front of the car and some in the back seat. As I passed the car, I saw the driver's side window was down. I gave the car a smile and a wave, and I turned down a small street that branched off the road I was running on. Now, I remember feeling extremely on edge as I checked over my shoulder. I saw the car turn around in the middle of the road and then slowly down the street that I was running on. Again, I chalked it up to misinterpreting directions and tried not to think too much of it, and I really began to freak out. As a girl of my age, I always would jump to the worst possible outcome. I wasn't very tall and only stood about 5'2", so I knew that I could be easily mishandled if the people in the car had any ill intentions. But I knew that was very unlikely, so I tried to tell myself to calm down. I reached the cul-de-sac at the end of the street, so I was now running on the opposite side of the car. They were still going very slowly, and what I do next may have saved my life, and I can't imagine what would have happened if I didn't. As the car and I were about to be right next to each other, I paused my music and kept my earbuds in, giving the illusion that I was still listening. As the car and I got closer, I heard the 2 men speaking. One of them actually tried to speak to me, yelling "hey" or something like that to get my attention, but I didn't reply because I knew that it would blow my cover and that they would know that I was able to hear them. As the car drove a little bit behind me and out of my view, I heard one of them say, "We'll get her when we turn back around." I froze. Get me? I felt like something dumped a bucket of freezing water on my head. I knew they had to go around the cul-de-sac, so I did the only thing I could think of. I instantly sprinted. As I ran down the street, I looked over my shoulder and saw the car had already went around the cul-de-sac and was now going a lot faster. A lot farther than me. Art isn't for nerds. I like drawing, and I'm buff as fuck. Hell yeah. I think everyone should do art, and I think everyone should do physical exercise. You know, it's just for a well-rounded human experience. You know what I mean? For show, for show. As I ran down the street, I looked over my shoulder and saw the car had already went around the cul-de-sac and was now going a lot faster after me. I turned into the main road in my neighborhood and ran. I passed my street and just ran as fast as I could towards the end of my neighborhood. My house was the first in my street, so I knew that they would see where I lived if I tried to go home. I was scared to death and essentially running for my life. I had no idea what I could do to get away from these people, so I just pushed my body to go as fast as possible. I continued to check over my shoulder, hoping maybe they wouldn't be there. But they were. They were right behind me, and I distinctly remember they were silent. I'd imagined them yelling at each other that I was going to get away, but they were chasing me in silence. To me, that was creepier than if they would be yelling. When I ran down the last street in the neighborhood, I started running through backyards. That was the only thing I had left to do. I heard the car slam on its brakes, turn off its engine, and 3 doors slam. My heartbeat sped up. I was so convinced that they were going to begin chasing after me through those backyards. "Get back in the car! We won't find her like this!" My heart dropped as I heard 3 doors shut and the car engine start up again. Now that I was running through backyards, I would have to run across the streets too. This is the scariest part for me because I would be very visible to the people in the car if they were going to be driving down the main road. I remember staring at the street, trying to decide whether or not I should try to wait it out or if I should just book it home. I went with book it home. I didn't even check my shoulder as I ran through backyards, jumped over fences, and ran across the streets. I was just waiting for car lights to light up the area around me or for arms to wrap around me, but thankfully it never happened. Somehow the car must have turned down the wrong streets or completely missed me, and I truly believe that it's the luckiest thing that's ever happened to me. When I got to my house, I wasted no time jumping through the door. Once I slammed my door shut, I sat on the ground and thought about what had just happened and what could have happened. I never ended up telling my parents until years later, and I didn't call the police. But if they are still out there, I hope they're locked up somewhere so they can't ever terrorize a child again. I can't imagine what they would have done to me if they ever caught me, and needless to say, I hope I never see them again. You like digital because of how versatile it can be. Before I used pencils and ink. Yeah, there's a lot of versatility in digital art. You can just kind of like I don't know if Fry's still here. He does a lot of digital art now, and you can see his speed drawings and stuff, and it's just crazy like how how much you can change something in such a short period of time. Okay. Sketchbook Pro, okay. Years ago, I was on my way to Minneapolis, Minnesota from bumfuck Egypt. Huh. I gotta think of a new word for bumfuck. Wait, MT that's Minnesota, right? Oh yeah, because they're in Minnesota. Adur. Joe's working his magic. I'm getting sleepy. Welcome to Sleepy Town. Joel, did you do art? Yeah, I used to draw a lot when I was younger, and I was pretty good at it. And I didn't draw for quite some time, and then in college, I took a drawing course, and it was sweet. But I have not drawn or done anything like that since college, which is Boondock. Yeah, Boondock, Egypt, Minnesota would be Booty Love Egypt, Minnesota. That'd be funny too. Butt Pirate Egypt. Years ago, I was on my way to Minneapolis, Minnesota from Boondock, Egypt, Minnesota. I was making the trip alone. I drove as much as I could handle, stopping only for gas and bathroom breaks. It was late at night, and I decided to call it quits when I stopped in this little nothing town called Rothsay. I checked into this little motel to regroup for the night and decided to bebop on over to this 24-hour truck stop for some food. It wasn't far, so I grabbed my coat out of my car and went over on foot. So, some background about me. I've always been super cautious about stranger danger. My mom was into true crime and drilled it into me that any situation can be dangerous, so I need to stay vigilant and be prepared in case any sort of altercation happens with a creep. I always watch the people around me when I'm out and pay attention to what's going on. When this happened, I had pepper spray clipped on the inside breast pocket of my leather and my stun gun, machete, and baton in my car just in case stuff like this incident were ever to go south. I also had 2 gas cans, jumper cables, vehicle fluids, etc. in my car in case of an emergency. I felt okay with being myself because of all of this. To anyone who saw me, I was an 18-year-old female traveling by myself in a dumpy '02 Ford Vic with out-of-state plates, and if they bothered to look into specifically with a county number of a town with a population, what? And if they bothered to look into it specifically with a county number of a town with a population of like 600 to 700, so to creeps with bad intentions, I obviously had potential of being a vulnerable target on which to pull some nonsense with. I still was friendly with strangers and willing to help anyone in need, but this incident made me a bit leery about it from then on. I really feel like something awful would have went down if it had not been for the red flags that I saw and me questioning my situation. I stopped putting myself out there like this after it happened. While I was walking to that truck stop, I noticed a parked car with the door open and some dude just half sitting in it smoking a cigarette and messing with stuff in the car. I took note because he looked at me and kind of put off sketchy vibes. A lady, maybe 30 years old, comes out of the truck stop and approached me. She was a little off, like I'm fairly sure she was an addict and was high at the time. I was an addict once and don't look down on them, so I greeted her kindly when she walked up to me, and she said, "I am stranded here and need help. My car just died and I think I ran out of gas." So I told her that I'd be glad to help and offered to put 25 in the tank, and she said the car wasn't here. It had died on the road. I was like, okay, no problem. I always keep gas cans and jumper cables in case of something like this, so no worries. I could give her one of my gas cans and take gas back to it. And she responds, "Can I get a ride to my car?" So I asked her where it was, and she responds, "Oh, not that far, I suppose. It would just be nice to get a ride. Will you take me to my car?" I told her I was actually about to head into the truck stop to get something to eat just now, but it would be no problem at all to let her take a gas can. She floundered and changed it to, "Well, I'm not sure if it's out of gas. It could have just died because of the bad battery. You said you have cables, so would you try to jumpstart my car?" Odd thing is, the whole time I was talking to her, she kept glancing over at the dude in the car. She seemed insistent that I get in my car and take her somewhere. And these things just clicked. Alarms went off in my mind, and I knew that there was no way I was giving this woman a ride anywhere. So many red flags, and at this point I felt like it was some sort of scam to maybe rob me or steal my car or something of that sort, just due to how sketchy she was being. And because she kept looking over at the guy in the car throughout this, I did wonder if maybe she was afraid of the man for some reason, maybe in a bad relationship and trying to get away from him. I don't know. I made one last-ditch attempt on the off chance that she really did need help, and I told her that I'd let her use my phone if she wanted to call someone. But I wasn't going to give her a ride, with my excuse being that I had just driven all the way from 2 states over, and I was going inside to get food. Honestly, I just felt weird about the whole thing and didn't want to give her what she wanted. She 180'd so fast. She started screaming and swearing at me, saying all kinds of terrible stuff and making a huge scene, so I threw up my hands and said, "Fine, sorry, I can't help you." And I walked away from her and went inside the truck stop. The woman hung around the lot a few minutes, and as I was eating my caramel roll, I saw her leaving the lot with the man who had been sitting in the car smoking a cigarette. I was certain that it was a ruse, because why bother if she could have just met with him? I mentioned it to a lady inside, and she said she saw the strange lady show up there with the man that she left with, and she thought it was also super creepy and unsettling, and it was very likely that they had bad intentions. I genuinely feel like she was right, and my gut feeling was right. I feel like the point was for the strange woman to talk me into giving her a ride and direct me somewhere for the man to follow in his car for evil reasons. 400 likes, let's go. Whoa, 759 people, that's pretty sweet. I'm clipping through these tales pretty fast, yeah. Not too many mistakes in this latter half. How many stories? Hey, Lauren, what's happening? How many mistakes we got? Or not how many mistakes, how many stories we got? We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we got 3 more left. Drew, I appreciate it. Abuse that like button. Hit the like button or else. Or smells. We got steaks. I wish we had steaks. I want some steak. Oh, that's okay, Vixen. No worries. The town you're currently living in only has 2,800 people total. Yeah, it's a pretty small town. Working the magic, baby. Oh wait, somebody, I totally missed, I think earlier, Darth Bane. I don't know if Darth Bane is still here, but I missed you becoming part of the Buttersock cult, but I apologize. I think I was reading and then totally missed it, but welcome, welcome. And you now have access to bonus content. I assume Mr. Fry had added him. So yeah, slap that like button like Chris Rock. Smack that like button like it just said a really not that offensive joke about your wife. Just in case this says, I'm just wondering, what's Friday's video? It's actually high school related stories. So I think that one should do pretty well, and I feel like those ones are always interesting. Those ones in college stories I find interesting. Or at least they're just like more relatable, I feel like, for people. But thank you for the 2. I'm your coworker by now, yeah. We gotta go to work, we're gonna be late.
Listen.
A few years back, I was working as a Lyft driver in some of my free time to make a little extra cash, but this experience happened when I was not expecting rides, ultimately confirming some of the horror stories you might hear. One evening, as I was headed home from my day job, I stopped at a Walmart to grab a couple of essentials before getting home. While I didn't have the driver app operating, therefore not accepting rides at that moment, I still had the stickers in my windows indicating that I was a driver. After paying for my things, I headed to my car and began putting my things in the trunk. Almost out of nowhere, a woman approached me. She looked distressed and a little disheveled, but no warning flags necessarily jumped out at me quite yet. She asked if I was the Lyft driver she requested, and I replied politely that I was not. Almost cutting me off, she began pleading with me to give her a ride down the street, stating that her sister was in serious trouble and she needed to get to her as soon as she could. Feeling empathetic for her situation, I tried asking what had happened, and she blurted back that her sister was in trouble, but avoided my actual question. Although I felt bad for the woman, I began getting a little suspicious of her story. As nicely as I could, I told her that I don't do rides outside of the app, to which she replied, "It's just down the street a few blocks. I can pay you more than the app would, please." I began backing up towards my door as I continued to tell her sorry that I wouldn't be able to help at this time, blaming the perishables in my trunk. At this time, I was not focused on the warning signs necessarily, as I did feel empathetic to her situation. That is until her phone buzzed and she glanced at it quickly, almost in a way so I couldn't see her phone. Odd, I thought to myself. When she slipped the phone back into her pocket is when I saw how clunky and small the phone was, and clearly was not a smartphone that could have been used to order a lift. I apologized again and tried not to clue her in that warning bells had gone off in my head. I told her, "Well, hopefully your lift arrives soon and everything's fine with your sister." I got in my car quickly. Luckily, my car has a feature where if you only click unlock once, the driver's side is the only door to unlock. Not that she attempted to open a door, but it did make me feel safer with that feature in this moment. As I backed up my car out of the spot, she moved hastily out of the way, and I noticed that her face changed from distressed to what I could only describe as malice. As I got to the end of the aisle, waiting for cars to pass so I could merge and get out of the Walmart lot, I glanced in the rearview mirror as two men got out of the Escalade that had been parked adjacent to me and approached the woman as if angry or annoyed with her, and I could see her angrily gesturing toward my car and turn to face them as they continued arguing about something. Finally, I was able to pull out of the aisle just as she followed them back into the Escalade. I'm the best, thanks. We the best. Get the taste of cilantro on its mouth. That's funny. We the worst. I work at a retail store that sells parts, feed, and the like. On a slow night, the store manager and I were closing, but it was pretty slow, so he let me go home early. I jumped at this opportunity as I have two jobs that are extremely physically demanding, and I'm always tired. It's important for you to know that I've been borrowing my brother's car. My mother stole my own car, long story for another subreddit, and this car has many electrical issues. I'll get into that in a moment. My drive home is 45 minutes, and it's on those country roads you may have heard songs about. Sure, they're great, but there are no streetlights. Don't get me started about the quality of the asphalt either. So I'm in this little Kia, which all the gauges and speedometer needles jump around on the dash depending on the humidity and temperature. Lucky me. And I have to manually keep track of how much gas is left in the tank by simply doing the math. The gauge cannot be trusted. I guess I messed up that week because on my way home from work that night, the car just started to sputter and just died right there. The electrical was okay, but the engine just quit. I'd been texting my other manager throughout the shift. He and I had become friends. He was close to my age, had similar interests, and was cute. But I had shared that our store manager had let me go early. So I texted him and said, "Hey, what if I told you I was stuck on the side of the highway?" Now, you may wonder, why didn't I just text this brother that I've... What brother? Did he mention a brother? Oh, borrowing my brother's car. Oh, okay. Why is it quiet? Is it quiet? Whoa, 777 viewers. That's a cool number. My cat just made a honking sound as she was cleaning herself. I had to announce this. That's funny. What's my biggest pet peeve? I hate when people leave toothpaste in the sink. Oh, interesting. Why is that? Like just like splattered on the edge, or just like the spit of it, or I don't like wet socks. I really don't like having wet socks. It's pretty quiet. Yeah, do you guys think I sound quiet? I shouldn't sound quiet. It should be at normal volume. Now, you may be wondering, why didn't I text this brother that I've spoken of, or why I didn't call another friend? This is because, number one, I knew this manager lived close by and would absolutely be the guy to lend a helping hand. Number two, my brother turned his ringer off at 8 p.m. so he wouldn't even answer. And number three, my brother and I had just moved to this state and at the time had not made friends with anyone yet. My manager texted back, "Hang on, for real? Do you need help?" As I was typing a reply, a green Dodge Ram drove up. A little beat up, but... As I was typing a reply, a green Dodge Ram drove up, something like that. A little beat up, but with a nice new set of LED headlights and a light bar on the top. Their high beams and light bar were on, so I couldn't see their faces, and as far as I could tell, at least 2 men were inside. The driver's window rolled down and I hear an accented voice call out, "Hey, beautiful, are you okay? How about you hop in the truck, we'll take good care of you." I'm a 5'10", 22-year-old woman who, in work boots, is about 6 feet tall. I'm not as built as I was in high school, just athletic enough to handle someone my own size, but not 2 grown men. Oh shit. I hear the... Oh my god, Dread. Oh yeah. Dread Archive with the 30s is there. Now it's not so quiet. I appreciate it. That's how we liven things up a little bit. A loud twerk. Thank you so much. That like came out of nowhere. Just like hit me. Wake me up a little bit. Wake me up inside. Can't wake up. Can't wake up inside. Joel sounds mellow. I'm a pretty mellow guy. Just don't let me play Overwatch or I'll actually go insane. But thank you, Dread Archive. I really appreciate that. I'm a 5'10", 22-year-old woman who, in work boots, is about 6 feet tall. I'm not as built as I was in high school, just athletic enough to handle someone my own size, but not 2 grown men. I had gotten out of my car to go see if I could tell where the nearest landmark was, but I couldn't, so I had walked back to my car at this point. I stood there with my feet planted. I reached behind my belt, above my rear end, in an attempt to appear as if though reaching for a gun, which I did not have. Foolish? Maybe. Desperate? Absolutely. I pointed up the road with my left arm and said in the meanest girl voice I could, "Get the F out of here." Somehow it worked. I have no idea, but it did. The truck sped off like it couldn't get away fast enough, which made me laugh now. I called the police and told them roughly where I was, which took some figuring out since I was so new to the area. Maps wasn't helping a ton. I then called my manager to tell him what had happened. He got there before the cops did, with a full gas can. Turned out, he was literally around the corner at a friend's house watching the game, and his friend had a gas can. I later got to meet this guy and his girlfriend. They were very sweet people. He said it was perfect timing, as he had turned down a weekend trip with him. Amelia, thank you for the 279 Canadian. Says, "Good evening, Joel. Happy Tuesday." Happy Tuesday to you. Happy Tuesday. Where did you get that music from, Joel? A soft core? Oh, wait, that twerking music? That's from, I think that's a Nicki Minaj song or a Cardi B song called, like, literally called Twerk. It's just, I think it's just like the start of the song. Have I ever done martial arts? I think it would be a pimp at Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I did do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu here and there. But I was around the same time that I was like doing CrossFit at the same time, so it was like really really tough to go to like Brazilian jiu-jitsu, you know, uh, and like get these videos done and stuff, and then also go to like a workout later. It was just like it was cool. I was like in good shape and stuff, but it was tough, and I didn't really like Brazilian jiu-jitsu that much just because it was, I don't know, like constantly having your body like stretched to the point that it's like about to injure it, you know, about to feel like injured, because that's the whole point, is like to like submit somebody so they like tap out or whatever, because obviously there's pain involved in that. That was kind of rough. I also didn't like the idea of rolling around on a mat and potentially getting like MRSA, or like rolling in other people's sweat and rolling around with like other big sweaty men. I mean, it was a cool concept, like in the sense that like on day one you could essentially go full out or whatever, but I don't know, it just like really wasn't for me, especially since I was like already working out elsewhere. He said it was perfect timing, as he had turned down a weekend trip with a friend, and this other friend randomly invited him over just 2 hours before this went down. He poured all the gas he had into my car, which started nicely, and followed me to the nearest station and paid for the rest of my tank. He also bumped my car door closed, locking me out, so we had to wait for a tow truck for 3 hours. Definitely a funny way to end the night. We sat on the back of his tailgate and talked the whole time, and I even broke down crying after the adrenaline had gone down a bit. He held me by my shoulders and assured me that I was safe. We actually had some good laughs that night, which made it very memorable. He told me he admired my ability to see the humor in the situation and how I didn't let it get to me. Oh, wait. He told me he admired my ability to see the humor in the situation and how I didn't let it get to me. We've been dating for 5 months now, and I'm almost glad that I almost got kidnapped. That's cute. Anyone else from England? Probably. I was squawking in Memphis. I was chirping and drinking a beer. I don't know that song, I'm sorry. Oh wow, we're almost at 800 peeps. Let's keep it going. You would do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, but not many gyms have other girl members. Yeah, I remember I felt bad. There was like, there was a few girls in my classes, and you just felt, I mean, like usually they would pair up with each other, which does help. But yeah, it can get kind of awkward for them, I feel like. And I remember like having to spar or whatever you call it, like with a girl, and I mean it was fine, like you're just mature about it, but it definitely is kind of like a weird sort of like trying to hide your boner, you know what I mean? No, I'm just kidding. But it was funny just because I remember like there's this one move where you have to like slide your leg across like their shoulders or neck or something like that, and my legs are pretty strong, and I just remember like the girl, she like commented, she's like, I literally can't fucking move. I can't fucking move. How are your legs this strong? And I don't know, it's just a funny thing. Anyways, I snapped her neck right there. She was instantly dead. I'm wanted for murder. I'm on the run. Started my YouTube channel. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Hey, 800, let's go. What's poppin'? 800 people. Thick tree trunks, yeah. Just one squeeze and her like brain, her eyeballs just popped out. No wonder I'm faceless, yeah, because I'm literally FBI's most wanted list. And also the Galactic Federation is looking for me. I do not skip leg day, yeah. It's my fave. I live 10 minutes away from Walmart. but I honestly rather drive 45 minutes to the next town's Walmart. The Walmart by me is just unpleasant. My brother and I one day decided to just go cause. I see what they're trying to say. Thanks, Drew. Appreciate it. Lady Legasus. Who's that? My brother and I one day decided to just go because we needed something quick and was short on time. We went in and... Sorry, the way the grammar is just weird. We went and browsed the electronics section. Sometimes they do have cool stuff. With nothing found, I browsed the computers while my brother quickly looked at LED lights. As I started walking away, I noticed a tall man with Jesus Christ. But as I started walking away, I noticed a tall man with white gray hair walking super close to an older lady. I thought that they knew each other. When I passed him, he got super close behind me. My eyes bugged out of my head because I knew how close he was as my older brother looked behind him because I was walking towards him. His eyes bugged, so I knew I wasn't just imagining it. He got so oddly close that I decided to turn around to see who he was, and I didn't recognize him, and darted inside the next aisle where my brother came up behind me and said that I should keep walking, that he's right behind us. Next to the electronics, the next aisle is the art... Dude, this grammar in this one is so fucking bad, it's painful. See you, Drew. Peace out. I'm burping ASMR. But, yeah, just but. But, it'd be funny if that was your name, was like an actual burp, and every time you had to tell your name, you had to burp. That'd be interesting if there was like some tribe out there where like they figured out how to like suck in air real quick to like burp and say different stuff. Joel is secretly a serial killer. You never know. Maybe that's why I made the soundproof room. Next to electronics, the next aisle is the art and craft supply. We kept walking. My brother peered behind us, and he loudly whispered, "Oh my God, he's still following us. Go, go." So we made it to automotive, which was the main reason of the visit to Walmart, which I was relieved when there was more people around than there was in the electronics. After getting what we needed, we made our way back to electronics to pay. It was over 20 minutes since we'd last seen that Danny Phantom-looking guy. As we turned the corner, we see the guy again. My eyes darted right at me. Wait, what? My Brazilian jiu-jitsu skills to kill. I remember the one most useful Brazilian jiu-jitsu skill I had was like if somebody comes behind you to like choke you out or something to grab you, if you take your one leg and like, okay, so you're getting picked up from behind, right? Someone's trying to pick you up and steal you. You take your one leg and you try to wrap it around their knee, and then you bring the leg forward at the knee so their knee buckles. And then that should, and then if you're able to get ground from that, you should be able to ground yourself. So now you're on the ground, and then you want to like shoot your butt back as fast and as possible, so it creates distance between you, and then you should be able to get control of their wrist and fandangle your way out of it. But it's obviously thinking that when it happens is tough, but I think the whole point of like martial arts is the muscle memory part. Like if you do something to somebody who knows that kind of stuff or is a black belt, they supposedly should just know it. At least I think that's how it works. Otherwise, I may have just doomed you to death or something like that. Eyes darted right at me as I tried to ignore it. The ladies at the electronics looked a bit odd. Oh shit! Ooh, 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 ooh. Damn. Holy shit, Colin. With the $100 Renos. Says, just got 500 for being an essential worker during COVID, but you have kept me sane through nursing school and COVID, so thank you for being essential for my sanity. You're welcome, Colin. Thank you so much for being so generous. Holy shiz. Holy schnoosh-noot. Thank you, thank you, thank you. God damn. So do we thrust our butt back hard or not? Yeah, I'm sure there's a YouTube video out there, but yeah, I think it's like someone grabs you, and I think your hands go to their wrist, or like if they're on your neck, you try to grab their wrist wherever they're at, and then like if they're trying to pick you up, you basically are, yeah, just like loop your leg around, whether you're right, probably your right one, I guess, whatever's dominant, and then bring it like kind of looped around their knee, and then just bring it forward, and it, should bring them down to ground so you can ground yourself, and then you're just like jutting your ass back really fast, so you're like freeing yourself, you know what I mean? Like, or just creating distance between your waist and their waist while still controlling their wrist. And then, in some fashions, I think you would probably like rotate your wrist to like, or rotate your whole waist to then like get away while controlling that wrist and pulling it away from you. But sweep the leg! Sweep the leg! No, Napoleon. That's not how you do it. Twerking can save lives. That's why I do it every stream. When you guys donate, I'm like mildly terrified. You're right behind me, and I gotta defend myself. Eyes darted right at me as I tried to ignore it. The ladies at the electronics looked a bit off, and I noticed them speaking Spanish. I picked up that they called security because that guy was just standing there. Meanwhile, in line to pay security... Fuck, man, I cannot follow this person's writing at all. Twerks save lives. Meanwhile, in line to pay, security comes and asks this guy if he was waiting on someone, and he replied no, and turned away. After we paid, I told my brother that this is why I don't shop around here. As we walked to the front of the store, the same guy was following us out. We ran to the Jeep and locked the doors. My brother described his eyes as these predatory hunting eyes, just dead and soulless. I don't know what happened after we left, but I now don't shop anywhere near my home to avoid the weirdos of my city, and I'm fairly certain that human trafficking happens at that Walmart often. Jumping jacks save lives. Yeah, sometimes when I'm really tired, jumping jacks really get me going. Well, my friends, we have arrived. We hath arrived. And now you guys have to think of something funny for me to say at the end. Can it top last stream, though? It's weird not hearing the segue music. Yeah, I need like a hotkey or something like that to make that happen. Do I feel objectified by us? Yeah, I guess so, but I don't really care. You know what I mean? Like, I understand. At this point, I understand. This is my purpose in life. I think, like, if you were to switch the roles, like if there was a female streamer and people were saying like creepy stuff like that, they might be offended, but for me personally, I don't really give a shit. You know what I mean? I think it's funny most of the time, and it's whatever. I don't care. Always buy canned bread. Oh, Drew, what's up? I didn't even see you in the chat. Did you know that diarrhea is hereditary? It runs in your genes. Holy shit, it's pretty good. Was that 12 stories? Yeah, it blew by. I mean, we're almost at 3 hours. Not all of them were super long, though. Tell us more secret BJJ techniques. That's one of the ones that stuck with me most. I really didn't do a whole lot of it, but I did like the idea that like it was basically about just practicing. Practice a move, practice positions, and that's all it is just repetition until eventually you're just like really good at not even having to think about it. Because if you have to think about it, that's all the more time they have to like, because. And that's the tough thing too, is like if you were in competition, obviously someone would be trying to get you while you're trying to get them and all that kind of stuff. Send Joel to bed with 600 likes. Let's get it. Let's get it before the stream ends. 600 likes. How old am I? I'm 31. Ask B Bust about joking at the end. Does he have some pretty good ones? Remember always to roll with sweaty men. Do an impression. I don't even know what impression. I don't have any good ones. Do you know the firemen are always in heat? Joel understands his place as an icon. If any of us offend you, you feel free to cross the line. Let us know. It's all jokes, but really we love it. Yeah. I mean, I know that. I mean, if anybody actually is like to the point where it's uncomfortable in chat, like usually it's funny and it's memorable, but if they're like too much, usually one of the mods like times them out or something like that, or they just get banned or whatever, you wouldn't even know that they're gone. I'm just kidding. Seriously, I was going to do a YouTube channel about it and then I see it already exists. What is it about? Yeah, Sadie, good to see you. What happened to the man who stole a calendar? He got 12 months. Alright, yeah, maybe I'll do that one. Ruh-roh, Raggy. Ray friends, thanks for listening. And remember, friends, denim onesies are the new sleep jeans. You really could look anyway. You could tell us that you look like a young Brad Shit, really look like an ogre, and we'd never know the difference since we never get to see him. This is true. I'm somewhere in between those two descriptions, but hotter than Brad Pitt and hotter than the ogre. Unharassed Joel, yeah. De-harassed. You must de-harass me. Alright, let me just, you guys think of something funny, I'll read this. Hey friends, thanks for listening. Click that notification bell to be alerted of all future narrations. I release new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you got a story, be sure to submit them to my subreddit, r/Let'sReadOfficial, and maybe even hear your story featured on the next video. And if you want to support me even more, grab early access to all future narrations and bonus content over on Patreon, or click that big join button to hear about the extra perks offered for the channel members. And check out the Let's Read podcast, where you can hear all of these stories in big compilations and save huge on data, located anywhere you listen to podcasts. Links in the description below. Thanks so much, friends, and remember, wear wet socks to bed for the... I don't know about that one. It's good though. Sometimes I look over and I like try to catch what people are typing. And if it's good, it's meant to be. But remember, don't turn off the power when the automated icon is displayed. The automated icon? And remember, get some jelly beans. Got some jelly beans. Remember, thanks so much, friends. And remember, want some jelly beans? I'll do that one actually. Thanks so much, friends. And remember, want some jelly beans? Want some jelly beans? I'll do that one again, actually. We'll go again. Thanks so much, friends. And remember, want some jelly beans? Alright. Got it. Got it. Log it in. We good. Joel saying McGruff the crime dog. Take a bite out of crime. I don't even remember what he sounds like, but I remember the saying. Roof. Take a bite out of crime. I'm the best person to exist. Thank you. Well, friendos, Nighty night. Thank you for everything. Thank you for your support and donations and love and just great people. Seriously, you guys make this totally worth it because you're just always positive. Honestly, I don't even know if I could do YouTube if I had to be surrounded by negativity, but you guys are just the embodiment of positivity. So thank you for being that and being a great community. And I hope that, if you guys exist, honestly, a lot of the creepypasta community is just positive people just having a good time, even if it is like, isn't that funny? It's like morbid topic, but everybody's just like so nice, So yeah, keep it up. Keep being awesome. Yeah, and have a lovely night. And this will be out early access on Patreon at only $1 a month over there. Get that early. Or you can wait till it comes out on YouTube today at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Bubba with the 2 says, love you, my guy. Keep up the spook. Thank you, Bubba. Thank you for the 2. Have a good night. All right, guys.
Hey, listen.
Adios.